Chapter 241. Grandpa Shen did not say anything. At that moment, a white car drove into the parking lot of the Shen family. Everyone looked at it and realized that it was a nurse who accompanied Shen Jianchuan back to the Shen family. Grandpa Shen's hands began to tremble when he saw it. "Why are you back?" "I'm afraid that you'll make things difficult for Xiaoqi," Shen Jianchuan replied. "Even you, father, you could accept me when I was so rebellious back then. Can't you accept my daughter now?" Shen Jianchuan asked Grandpa Shen. "Don't you think that Mu Qiqi is very similar to me because of her? You're a man and she's a girl. Do you know what people will say about her when she's only 18? Whether she can marry into the Sheng family or not, her reputation will not be good in the future." Grandpa Shen pointed at Mu Qiqi and said loudly, "Am I doing it for myself? I'm already half buried in the ground. Why should I care about that? I just don't want her life to be as rough as yours." Grandpa Shen's eyes turned red as he said that. "Father, you know how capable Sheng Xiao is. He saved Mu Qiqi and raised her. Now he wants to marry Mu Qiqi. He has already given his all to your granddaughter. Other than him, no one else can take care of your granddaughter so well and spoil her to the point that she is out of control. Reputation is nothing. We live our lives for ourselves. Who will remember who is who after 100 years?" Shen Jianchuan held Grandpa Shen's hand and said, "You just spoil them. Since it's happened, they have to accept it. Now they love each other so much that they won't break up even if you talk to them until your saliva dries up. Do you still remember me back then? If they're really not fated, they'll break up sooner or later. When that time comes, even if Mu Qiqi's reputation is bad, she can bear it herself. She's an adult. As for the Shen family, I'm innocent. Grandpa Shen has lived his life with integrity," Grandpa Shen said disdainfully. Hearing this, Shen Jianchuan smiled. "If that's the case, why are you still stopping the children? An uncle and a niece." When Grandpa Shen thought of those two titles, he felt extremely uncomfortable. He could not accept it no matter what. But he was also afraid of losing Mu Qiqi and Shen Jianchuan. It was because of him that Shen Jianchuan was framed by Rong Junhan and was bedridden for half of his life. Now could he still hurt his granddaughter? "At most, I will pretend that nothing happened. Don't show your relationship in front of me. No matter what happens in the future, you will bear the consequences yourself." With that, the old man turned around and returned to his room. No matter what, he could not swallow this grievance. Meanwhile, Mu Qiqi walked to Shen Jianchuan and squatted beside him. "Why did you come out of the hospital?" "Because your grandfather listens to me the most," Shen Jianchuan said to his daughter. Mu Qiqi giggled, but there were tears in her eyes. "Daddy, silly daughter, you have had a hard life since you were young. I have never taken care of you. Now no matter what happiness you want, I will help you get it. Leave your grandfather to me. You go to Sheng Xiao's place." Sheng Xiao looked at the father and daughter. Then, he walked to Shen Jianchuan and said calmly, "I believe that I am still the person who treats Qi the best. It's easy to get past the Shen family. But what about the Sheng family?" Shen Jianchuan looked at Sheng Xiao meaningfully. "My daughter will not be bullied in the Shen family. But if she goes to the Sheng family and is humiliated and looked down upon, I will not let her stay with you no matter what. I accept your challenge. Let's see if she will be happy in the Shen family or the Sheng family." Shen Jianchuan did not say anything else. He wanted to give Mu Qiqi's hand to Sheng Xiao, but he could not do it. Sheng Xiao understood at once. He took Mu Qiqi's hand from Shen Jianchuan's hand. Let's go. Let's go home. I will talk to your grandfather tonight. As for the Sheng family, you must give us an answer as soon as possible, Sheng Xiao. I cannot let my daughter follow you without knowing why." Sheng Xiao did not say anything, but his steps were firm, because he had taken his daughter away from Mu Qiqi's father. It was a promise between men. That night, everyone in the Shen family had complicated feelings. Although Grandpa Shen did not agree to it, he did not object either. After that, Shen Jianchuan followed Grandpa Shen into his study. Grandpa Shen was still sulking. He did not want to talk to his son. "It's been so many years since I entered your study." Hearing this, the old man couldn't get angry anymore. He sighed deeply. "Do you blame me?" Shen Jianchuan shook his head. "I don't blame you for what happened to me. But if you continue to stop Mu Qiqi from being with Sheng Xiao, I might blame you. They are not related by blood. Mu Qiqi is already an adult. Why can't she be with Sheng Xiao? Is my daughter trying to climb the social ladder just because she is with the strongest man? Why can't my daughter be with the crown prince? Sigh. How many men these days are devoted to one woman? Especially with Sheng Xiao's background. I'm afraid that he is just playing with Mu Qiqi. What will happen to Mu Qiqi then? What do you mean? Qiqi is also the daughter of the Shin family. When she was with Sheng Xiao, she also enjoyed a beautiful love. If they really break up one day, then Qiqi will still be a member of the Shin family. She is my daughter. Even if I am disabled, I can still let her live with dignity. Do you believe me? That's right. Grandpa Shun was gradually convinced by his son. What else could he do now? Let's see what the Sheng family thinks. Do we even need to think about it? Shen Jianchuan said. He knew that the Sheng family would not agree, even if he tried to guess with his toes. But it was not something they could handle. Whether Sheng Xiao was sincere to Mu Qiqi or not depended on what he did. With Sheng Xiao's ability, as long as he is sincere, Mu Qiqi will not be bullied no matter where she is. The Sheng family is not to be trifled with. Grandpa Shen snorted. Moreover, how many people are there in the Sheng family? There are so many people eyeing the position of the crown prince's wife. How can they let Xiaoqi have it? Isn't your granddaughter a little smart? At that moment, Sheng Xiao was bringing Mu Qiqi home. On the way, Mu Qiqi was shocked by what Sheng Xiao said. Marriage? Are you serious? Why? You don't want to marry me? Sheng Xiao smiled. His eyes were filled with love for his little one. I am not old enough to register. Chapter 242. But, Xiao, I'm not prepared at all. Mu Qiqi panicked. We weren't mentally prepared when your grandfather found out. Sheng Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi and smiled. Why? Are you scared? I'm scared. I'm scared that you would fall out with your family. They would fall out no matter who my wife is. It doesn't make a difference. With that, Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi to the villa that Mama Sheng had prepared for him. Jing Yin was startled by what he did. Young master, let's sleep here tonight, Sheng Xiao said to Jing Yin, tugging at Mu Qiqi's hand. Mu Qiqi could tell that Jing Yin was worried and quickly said, There's nothing for me here, and Jing Yin needs to rest. Why don't we go home? Come into my room to take a shower and put on my clothes. Sheng Xiao pushed her into his room. But Xiao. Before Mu Qiqi could finish, Sheng Xiao had already closed the door for her. Jing Yin could guess most of it at that. Young master, are you going to go public? But Miss Mu Qiqi is not even 19. Are the odds good? It's precisely because the odds are not good that I need you and the Shin family to work together, Sheng Xiao said to him. From today onwards, you can go back to your own home. While you're at it, help me do something important. Yes, young master. Tell my mother that you saw Qi in the villa. Jing Yun's eyes widened at that. Are you going to be so direct? Do as I say, and spread the story that I went to the Shin family to cause trouble, saying that I snatched Qi from the old man, and he was so angry that he was almost hospitalized. Jing Yun nodded at his orders. I understand. I'll do it right away. Sheng Xiao was putting everything on his shoulders, so that the Sheng family would think that Mu Qiqi was forced by him, and the Shin family was forced by his tyranny. It was only then that the Sheng family would not pay attention to Xiaoqi. At the moment, Mu Qiqi was taking a shower in her room. She needed to calm down too. Although she had already decided on Sheng Xiao, she was afraid that what would happen next would reach a point she could not bear. She was afraid that she would hurt Sheng Xiao and the Sheng family. After a while, Sheng Xiao returned to the bedroom and entered the bathroom. He saw Mu Qiqi standing under the shower in a daze. He grabbed her neck and pulled her in front of him. From today onwards, cooperate with me and act. What? I want Xiaoqi, to be my rightful wife. With that, Sheng Xiao kissed her. She could not resist him at all. Very soon, the bathroom was filled with obscene sounds. However, their entwined bodies were obscured by the dense mist. In their passion, Sheng Xiao held her slender waist and told her over and over again, I want you, I only want you. Mu Qiqi was driven by her own desires. How could she not be wholeheartedly devoted to Sheng Xiao? Since Sheng Xiao had said such words, what reason did she have not to support her man and drag him down with her negative emotions? I just want to be with you forever. Soon, Mu Qiqi fell asleep out of exhaustion, just as the sound of a car parking came from downstairs. Sheng Xiao covered Mu Qiqi with a blanket and went downstairs, because he knew that his mother was coming for him. Mama Sheng rushed to the villa. She knew what he had done when she saw Sheng Xiao's bare upper body and the scratches from his nails. She did not notice the tattoo on Sheng Xiao's body. She was just shocked to see him like that. This was the first time she, as a mother, saw her son's needs in this area. Jingyan told me. It's all true. Sheng Xiao went downstairs and poured his mother a glass of wine. Where's Xiaoqi? I'm sleeping in my room. Sheng Xiao answered directly. Mama Sheng could not take it anymore. She went up to Sheng Xiao and gave him a slap. Do you know what you are doing? You have Mu Qiqi. She is only 19 years old. She is old Shen's precious granddaughter. How can you go to the Shen family and make a scene? How can I face the Shen family in the future? Sheng Xiao was not angry because of the slap. He smiled. There was a hint of a devil in his smile. Mom, don't you always know what I am like? I can get whatever I want and whoever I want. I never ask if they are willing or not. Since Xiaoqi is grateful to me, why can't she be my woman? Mama Sheng was very angry. What did you do to Xiaoqi? What can I do? Isn't it just a matter between a man and a woman? She is still so young. She is an adult now. Sheng Xiao emphasized. I could have kept it a secret. But Uncle Shen found out about it. I can't let Xiaoqi run away. So, I could only go to the Shen family and make a scene. Mama Sheng did not know what to do with her son. She took a deep breath. Can't you use proper means to pursue someone you like? Must you be so despicable? I like her. Do I have the right to like someone else in the Sheng family? I do like Cheer, but will you let me marry her? If that's the case, I might as well use force. Mom, instead of standing here, why don't you think about how to make it up to the Shen family? Anyway, I have done what I did. Mama Sheng was frightened by her son. Although Sheng Xiao had shown his devilish side in the past few years, he had never treated people like he did now. Sure enough, it was a fool's dream to let him live a normal life. I'll go up and see Mu Qiqi. Go ahead. Sheng Xiao pointed at the second floor. But Mom, Cheer is mine. If you have any ideas about her, I will announce to the world that I have taken the girl I adopted as my own. Mama Sheng could not say anything. She went upstairs and gently opened the door. She had mixed feelings when she saw Mu Qiqi sleeping in the bedroom, especially when she saw the marks on Mu Qiqi's body. She was such a good girl, but her son treated her like that. Mama Sheng did not say anything at that thought. But before she left, she said to Sheng Xiao, you have to take responsibility for this. Mu Qiqi cannot be toyed with by you. How do you want me to take responsibility? Marry her. Will Dad agree? Dream on. You don't have to worry about that. But you have to take good care of Mu Qiqi. Only then can I answer to the Shen family. Of course I will take good care of her. But Mom, are you sure you can convince Dad and Grandpa? In their eyes, I am just toying with a woman. Chapter 243. Mama Sheng left the villa quickly. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that her son was a complete demon. Sheng Xiao knew that his mother had successfully misunderstood him. So, he returned to the bedroom and held Xiaoqi in his arms. Then he kissed her forehead gently. I must love you so much that I went crazy. That's why I did that. Mu Qiqi was sleeping. She did not know that she was already a daughter-in-law in Mama Sheng's heart. She did not care if she was 18 or 19 years old. She was born in the Mu family. She was really afraid of her son now. So Mama Sheng quickly returned home and told her husband about it. It's all because of the Sheng family's bias. That brat doesn't walk the path of a normal person at all. Now he has bullied a child of the Shen family. Who else would want to marry him in the future? The Shen family did not cause trouble today, because they are friends with the Sheng family for many years. But we can't pretend that it never happened. She is just a woman. Why are you making such a fuss? Papa Sheng glared at his wife. Don't you know your son? The more outrageous the thing is, the more he would do it. Do you still want him to be a normal person? What else can I do? How old is the child? Papa Sheng suddenly asked Mama Sheng. 19 soon. Then let's arrange for them to get engaged. We'll talk about the future later. This way, whatever Sheng Xiao wants to do will be justified. And the Shen family will have an explanation. Papa Sheng told Mama Sheng why he was so generous. First, it was because the Shen family was a famous family. Their granddaughter was taken away by Sheng Xiao. Of course, the Shen family would not let it go. Secondly, Papa Sheng did not think that Sheng Xiao's love for Mu Qiqi would last long. The engagement was just a temporary measure. When the young man got tired of it, it was only a matter of time before they broke up. And he knew his son very well. He would never stay by someone's side until he was old. When that happens, the Shen family could not say anything even if they were fated to be together. So he proposed to let Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi get engaged. Old Shen hates seniority the most. According to seniority, Sheng Xiao is Qiqi's uncle. I still need to spend some time to convince the old man. I'll explain it to Dad, but to the public, just tell them that I'm engaged to the daughter of the Shen family. We can't expose their adoptive relationship. I knew this bastard wouldn't do anything good. After listening to her husband, Mama Sheng sighed. I really like Mu Qiqi. I'll treat her better when they get engaged. I really don't know how sad Mu Qiqi was when she was bullied by Sheng Xiao. Mama Sheng sighed. That was why Jing Yin received news the next morning that the CEO and Madam had informed the chairman of the Sheng family about it. And when the chairman learned about it, he immediately ordered Sheng Xiao to get engaged to the daughter of the Shen family as soon as possible, although he had never seen this granddaughter-in-law before. Even so, what Sheng Xiao did was so out of line that the Shen family dared to cause trouble. She even went to fight with Grandpa Shen for him. If the Sheng family did not say anything, their relationship with the Shen family would be over. Moreover, Papa Sheng told Grandpa Sheng that the girl was still young. When she grew up and Sheng Xiao was no longer obsessed with her, they could just separate. It was just an engagement. It would not involve her becoming a member of the Sheng family. So Grandpa Sheng agreed to it. He could not let the ugly things that his grandson had done spread like wildfire. Now he had to find a name for him. So, Mama Sheng came to the Shen family with a gift in the morning. Grandpa Shen thought that he could not face the Sheng family at first. But when Mama Sheng spoke, he was shocked. Old Shen, it's the Sheng family that let you down. What do you mean? That brat of mine took Mu Qiqi by force, and even caused a ruckus in the Shen family. He really put the Sheng family to shame. So, my father immediately asked me to come here to propose marriage to you. Let the two children get engaged. When Mu Qiqi is 7 years old, let them get married. Mama Sheng said to Grandpa Shen embarrassedly. Grandpa Shen glanced at Huang Yu subconsciously after he heard what she said. What did Sheng Xiao do? But there is a gap in seniority between them. Old Shen, can you put aside your seniority now? I know you're not happy about it, but since it's already happened, we can only accept it. I feel sorry for Qiqi. Since it's fate between the two of them, let's see if you can fulfill it. Grandpa Shen was surprised. Why would the Sheng family come to propose marriage? At that moment, Shen Jianchuan was pushed out of the room by the nurse. He saw Mama Sheng. I don't agree to it. My daughter is the daughter of the Shen family. She is the daughter of the Shen family. If she is taken away by the Sheng family so easily, won't she be bullied by the Sheng family? Mama Sheng saw that Shen Jianchuan had come home. She could imagine how fierce Sheng Zhao's trouble was yesterday. She quickly answered, Don't worry. I will treat Qiqi like my own daughter after she joins the Sheng family. I'm curious. Why did the Sheng family come to propose marriage? It's fine if Sheng Xiao plays around with women, but it suits his status. I don't have to marry him. Young master, don't worry. Qiqi is the daughter of the Shen family. I will treat her the same way you treat her. You don't have to worry. Humph. Shen Jianchuan snorted coldly. He did not say anything else. If he did not make things difficult for the Sheng family, they might think that his daughter could not get married. So he was supporting Mu Qiqi. When Mama Sheng saw that Shen Jianchuan did not say anything, she looked at Grandpa Shen. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and waved his hand. I'll do as you say. I'm already so old. I really don't want to be burdened by young people who can control Sheng Xiao. That's right. It's good that you agree. The Sheng family will do this well. We will not let Qiqi suffer. Grandpa Sheng did not say anything else. He felt that the Sheng family agreed to it too easily. It made him feel uneasy. So, after Mama Sheng left, he looked at his son. What happened? After Shen Jianchuan heard the question, he smiled. Eighth brother Sheng is really a surprise winner. What do you mean? Chapter 244. Then I shouldn't have agreed. Grandpa Shen snorted. Father, which one of the younger ones in the Sheng family managed to escape the fate of an arranged marriage? But if Sheng Xiao could get rid of his shackles and get engaged to Mu Qiqi, it means that he has a solution when it comes to marriage. I'm just afraid that Mu Qiqi would fall into the abyss when she marries the Sheng family. She wouldn't be able to handle it. Grandpa Shen was worried. I think it's interesting. Even if it doesn't work out, Mu Qiqi has the Shen family in us. Grandpa Shen nodded. Since the Sheng family was willing to let them get engaged, the future could be discussed later. What if Mu Qiqi was unwilling to marry Sheng Xiao? Things developed quickly. It was only one night. By the time Mu Qiqi woke up, her world had changed. She got dressed and went downstairs. She found Mama Sheng busy in the open kitchen. Mu Qiqi's face turned pale. But Mama Sheng smiled at her. Xiaoqi, you're awake? Pretty aunt. All the parents know about what happened between you and that little rascal. How could you do this to yourself and not tell anyone? In Mama Sheng's eyes, it was Sheng Xiao who forced Mu Qiqi. It was her son who let others down. Pretty aunt, it's not Xiao Zhao's business. Mother, I still need to go to work. Sheng Xiao, who was sitting in the living room, said to his mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Xiaoqi, take a seat. Breakfast will be ready soon. You can go to school after you eat. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao in confusion. But Sheng Xiao hooked his finger at her. Do you think you're dreaming? What's going on? I've told you that I want you to be my little wife. With that, Sheng Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi's thin lips where Mama Sheng could not see. Mu Qiqi was startled. At the same time she was puzzled. But she did not ask. She waited until the three of them had breakfast. Then, she heard some news from Mama Sheng and learned why this happened. However, she was very uncomfortable. So when Sheng Xiao sent her to school and they were alone, she asked him seriously, why did you do that? Why did everyone treat you like a demon? What's the difference? Sheng Xiao asked her in return. I'm such a person. I do whatever I want and I'm lawless. They're used to it. Xiao Xiao. Everything else is not important. The most important thing is that I want to marry you as soon as possible. But, your family thinks you. I already bullied you. Haven't you been bullied enough by me? Wait to be my little bride. Sheng Xiao's words had a double meaning. Mu Qiqi blushed. As long as I can marry you, I don't care what others think of me. Just wait to be my little bride. At that moment, Mu Qiqi couldn't say anything. Sheng Xiao spoiled her too much, which made her feel uneasy. I won. Sheng Qiqi Sheng Xiao. T. Sheng Xiao I Sheng, single quote shout. Really? Mu Xiao was. Really? Mu Xing asked. Xiao Xiao Sheng Kit. Mu Sheng. Xiao. Mu Mu Tian Ti Tian. After saying that, Sheng Xiao stopped the car at the entrance of Shengting University. From now on, I can openly send you to school. Mu Qiqi kissed Sheng Xiao on the cheek when she arrived at the school gate. Then she got out of the car. But someone still saw who the man in the car was. Why does he look so familiar? Isn't he the Crown Prince of Huangyao? The Crown Prince is sending Mu Qiqi to school? Mu Qiqi thought that her life would be in a whirlpool in the future. But she loved Sheng Xiao. That was enough to overcome everything. The two of them were about to get engaged. She had never dreamed that she would marry Sheng Xiao one day. The news of their engagement soon spread throughout the Sheng family. Everyone in the Sheng family was shocked. They did not expect that Sheng Xiao would get engaged to an 18-year-old girl, because he had forced himself on her. And the girl was the daughter of the Shen family. But the Sheng family was not surprised after that. Actually, there were many such things in rich families. Many young masters of rich families got married because they were pregnant. Actually, it was just a matter of carelessness. Actually, the two of them didn't like each other that much. When the time was up, they would just divorce. The female would get a satisfactory breakup fee and find another person to marry. Everyone was happy. So in their opinion, Sheng Xiao was just careless and coveting Mu Qiqi's youth. When Mu-Chi-Chi lost her advantage, it was only a matter of time before they broke up. So the Sheng family just wanted to watch the show. Only the two people involved knew how serious they were. Still, Sheng Xiao would not come out to explain himself. Otherwise, the marriage would not go through. Everyone in the Sheng family thought that he was just fooling around. But in fact, only he knew very well what Mu-Chi-Chi's position was. So when Sheng Xiao's brothers and sisters abroad heard about it, they only called him to congratulate him. They did not care about his engagement ceremony with Mu-Chi-Chi. Of course, he did not care about it. When you get married, second brother will come back to congratulate you. By the way, this little sister-in-law is so young. Sheng Xiao's eyes darkened, because these people were looking down on Mu-Chi-Chi. But he was not in a hurry to expose the little one's position in his heart. There would be more to see in the future. Only fourth sister called Sheng Xiao. I'm still in Vienna. I'll be back in 2 days. You must attend Sheng Xiao's engagement ceremony. Fourth sister, bring back more gifts. Now you know how to ask for something for sister-in-law. I know. Don't worry. The fourth sister of the Sheng family was also a legendary woman. Still, that would have to wait for another time. All of a sudden, the news that the crown prince of Huang Yao was about to get engaged was spreading in the circle. Everyone was in an uproar, especially since his bride was only 18 years old. It was very interesting to talk about it. Mu-Chi-Chi was the daughter of the Shin family. There was nothing wrong with her background. But when it came to her birth, it became a hot topic. Even so, outsiders did not find it strange that Sheng Xiao and Mu-Chi-Chi were a match. After all, Sheng Xiao was like a demon. Outsiders would be puzzled if he married an innocent young lady from a well-matched family. In this way, this young couple could be considered to be birds of a feather? Chapter 245. Not only the nobles received the news, but third brother's family also received the news. Third brother was shocked when he received the news. He could not believe that such a thing would happen after he left the Shin family for a few days. If Shin Ruai knew about it, she would go crazy. That was right. Shin Ruai had gone crazy. Why could Mu-Chi-Chi do it but not Shin Ruai? Because when she thought of how Mama Sheng had humiliated her and mocked her in the Shin family, she did not expect that she would accept Mu-Chi-Chi in the next moment. It was a huge joke. Are the Sheng family crazy? How could they allow Sheng Xiao to get engaged to a bastard? Aren't they afraid of being laughed at? Sun Xian scolded. Why would Sheng Xiao be afraid of being laughed at? He is just a man who plays with women. I will wait and see how happy Mu-Chi-Chi will be after she gets engaged to this man. I will wait and hear the siren of the ambulance. I will send her to the hospital, and she will never be able to come out. Mom, I am the real daughter of the Shin family. But I lost to a bastard. I feel terrible just thinking about it. Sun Xian could not accept it. But Sheng Xiao and Mu-Chi-Chi were getting engaged. No one could change it. Heh, I will make the Sheng family regret it. Shin Ruai's eyes were red. Her eyes were filled with hatred. She hated Mu-Chi-Chi, Sheng Xiao, the Sheng family and the Shen family. At that moment, she felt that the whole world was her enemy. At that moment, she made up her mind. It was because she had used her special channel to know that the eldest son of the Sheng family liked to have lovers outside. Wasn't it because of God? Just wait and see Mu-Chi-Chi. In fact, the news had spread like wildfire. Mu-Chi-Chi felt helpless because she could no longer keep a low profile. However, no matter how much she was criticized at school, she forgot all her worries in an instant when she saw Xing Zhao's car parked outside the school gates. Because she could enjoy Xing Zhao's love now, she could not care less about what the others said. Sheng Xiao was leaning against the car and waiting. When Mu-Chi-Chi came to his side, he put his arm around her neck and kissed her red lips in front of everyone. The crowd gasped, but Sheng Xiao simply shielded Mu-Chi-Chi and said to the people around them, "Let's meet my fiancé." His smile made the people around him feel a sense of danger, so they took a few steps back. This man was handsome and outstanding. He was like a diamond that was hard to come by in the world. However, his level of danger was at the same level as his excellence. How much courage would it take to be with such a man? To get used to his trickery and mischief? At that thought, the onlookers began to admire Mu-Chi-Chi's courage. But only Mu-Chi-Chi knew that behind his back, He was a normal and warm man. Let's go. Sheng Xiao hugged Muqiqi and let her get into the car. Soon, their car arrived at the entrance of Shengting University and left. However, the discussions behind him were still incessant. Muqiqi must be a god to be able to be with the crown prince. That's right. Ordinary people would not even dare to breathe loudly when they are with the crown prince. They would be scared out of their wits. In terms of reputation, the two of them are surprisingly compatible. On the way back, Muqiqi saw that the entrance of the university had never been so crowded. She could not help but ask Sheng Xiao, "Are you coming to pick me up every day? Are you not willing?" Sheng Xiao tilted his head and looked at his little one. "It's just too high profile." Muqiqi scratched her head. "I'm not used to it." "Get used to it. Also, let's go to the Shen family for dinner tonight. My mother is there to discuss the engagement date with your grandfather." Muqiqi felt that it was unreal. She pinched her face to prove that she was not dreaming. The thing that she did not dare to think about before had become real. She was really afraid that it was all just her imagination. Cheer, Although we are engaged, no one in the Sheng family acknowledges our relationship. It's because they think that I'm just fooling around. They don't take you seriously. Sheng Xiao told Muqiqi the truth while driving. So, they might not acknowledge your identity in the future. They might even make things difficult for you and humiliate you. And our engagement is not a complete victory. I just want you to stand by my side openly. But there is still a long way to go. Muqiqi felt more at ease after listening to him. She was already feeling uneasy because of the quick engagement. But now that she knew the truth, she was not afraid anymore. Thank you, Xiao Xiao, for not lying to me. Although they don't take you seriously, I take you seriously. No matter who they are, no matter what they want to do, they will have to get through me before they bully you. This is my promise to you. Sheng Xiao never made promises to anyone. It was because he had to keep his promise when he said it. But at this moment, he made a promise to the little one who was the most important to him. As my fiancé, if you are still bullied, it means that I'm useless. I'm marrying you because I love you. I love you, little one. Muqiqi jumped into Sheng Xiao's arms when she heard the word love. Sheng Xiao could only stop the car to comfort the little one who was overjoyed. Was there any doubt that Sheng Xiao loved her? Her family background was not good. She did not have much ability. She was just a university student. Moreover, she was studying in such an unlikable major. If it was not because of love, she really could not think of any other good points in her. After a while, the car was finally restarted. The two of them quickly returned to the Shen family. Grandpa Shen snorted when he saw Sheng Xiao's expression. He did not look happy. But Mama Sheng was very happy, because before they came back, they had already decided on the date of their engagement. The 3rd of next month will be a big day. Chi-Chi, let's hold the engagement ceremony on that day. Is that okay? Muqiqi suddenly raised her head. She looked at Mama Sheng and then at Sheng Xiao. It's up to you. But Sheng Xiao suddenly said, "It's too slow. There are less than 20 days left." "I said it's too slow," Sheng Xiao repeated coldly. "I think next week is not bad." Chapter 246. I won't let her be wronged. She is already wronged being with you. When Grandpa Shen thought of their seniority, he still felt uncomfortable. She's only 18 years old. Which 18-year-old girl is going to get engaged and get married? She is basically betting her whole life on you. Mama Sheng felt bad when she heard that, because she felt that the Sheng family had wronged Muqiqi even more. Sheng Xiao was a devil. He might like her today, but he might change his taste tomorrow. What would happen to Muqiqi then? She knew very well what Grandpa Sheng and her husband were thinking. They both thought that it was just a girl, and it was not a big deal to get engaged. It was not a marriage, so they did not care who Sheng Xiao was engaged to. But when it came to marriage, it would be a different story. So, they did not care about Muqiqi at all. Mama Sheng could not help feeling sad when she thought about that. The most beautiful years of a girl's life had been ruined by her own devil son. Don't worry, Grandpa Shen. No matter when it is, the Sheng family will give Muqiqi the grandest ceremony. We will not mistreat her. Sheng Xiao knew that his mother wanted to make it up to Muqiqi, but he did not say it out. Anyway, He wanted the whole world to feel sorry for Muqiqi. Xiaoqi, let me be frank. If the Sheng family does not treat you well one day, you don't have to endure it. Come back to the Shen family. Dad and Grandpa can help you. I know, Grandpa. Muqiqi's eyes turned red, because she knew that it was difficult for her grandfather to accept her relationship with Sheng Xiao. Now she had to put on an act for him. As a grandchild, she was really unfilial. If that's the case, I will let the Sheng family arrange the engagement. Mama Sheng smiled. Then, she grabbed Muqiqi's hand in front of Grandpa Shen. It must be hard for you to follow my son. Muqiqi turned to look at Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao only smiled. Muqiqi said nothing. She just held Mama Sheng's hand. I'll get the best designer in the world to design an engagement dress for Qiqi. From today onward, she's half my daughter. Mama Sheng was very thorough in her work. So the Shen family was not dissatisfied with her. Even when Shen Jianchuan was in the hospital, she went there specially to reassure him. Shen Jianchuan was undergoing rehabilitation. Now he could speak freely. After hearing Mama Sheng's words, he smiled. To be honest, we know very well what the Sheng family is like. But my daughter went to the Sheng family. This is her choice. As her father, I can't stop her. I want her freedom. Mama Sheng smiled. If the Sheng family bullies Xiaoqi one day, you don't have to doubt that I, as her father, would have no choice but to fall out with the Sheng family no matter what the old man does. The marriage between two big families, and Xiaoqi is only 18 years old. These topics are enough to stir up the whole of Jianchuan. I only hope that the Sheng family can give her a sincere engagement ceremony. Mama Sheng knew Shen Jianchuan very well. So, she told him honestly. I can't control others. But I can promise that I will not be biased toward Xiaoqi, just like Sheng Xiao. As long as Qiqi is in the Sheng family, I will stand by her side and do my best to protect her. According to seniority, I should call you aunt. But Xiaoqin, we have known each other for many years. I trust you. My only daughter is in your hands. Don't worry. Mama Sheng nodded. After leaving the Shen family, Sheng Xiao brought Muqiqi to the small mansion to meet Su Zipei. Su Zipei had not seen Muqiqi since she knew that they were going to be engaged. Now that she saw her, she hugged Muqiqi and cried. I never thought that this day would come so soon. Qiqi, you are only 18 years old. I never thought that you would marry into the Sheng family at 18 years old. Aunt, don't be like this. In the future, I won't be able to help you with your life. I just want to tell you that in my heart, you will always be my daughter. No matter when, the door of the villa will always be open for you. This will always be your home. Lu Wenhua told Sheng Xiao that he had bought the small mansion from Grandpa Sheng. Now the small mansion belonged to the Lu family. It was because Su Zipei did not want to leave this place. She wanted to stay here all the time. If one day, Muqiqi could not stay in the Sheng family anymore, she would still have a familiar place to stay. Aunt, I am still your Qiqi. I will never change. Su Zipei hugged Muqiqi and turned to Sheng Xiao. Young Master Sheng. Over the past few days, there have been people constantly reminding me, threatening me and beating me up. It's all because of this little thing. Aunt, you should know better than anyone how much I care about this little thing. It was rare for Sheng Xiao to say such warm words. Su Zipei nodded with tears in her eyes. I understand. That's good. But the person she loved the most in her heart was about to get engaged. Su Zipei felt sad when she had to send her away. Alright, you're also pregnant. Crying for too long will harm your health. Lu Wenhua saw Su Zipei was sad, so he quickly comforted her. Muqiqi was surprised when she heard what he said. Aunt you. I didn't have time to tell you. I am an old woman now. That's good. Muqiqi quickly helped Su Zipei to sit down. Muqiqi and Sheng Xiao stayed in the small mansion for the night. It was the first time that Muqiqi and Sheng Xiao stayed in the same room in front of Su Zipei. At night, the two of them lay on the bed in Muqiqi's old room. Muqiqi lay on Sheng Xiao's chest and giggled. Looking at the time, Aunt and Uncle had sex before we registered. If you want to see me more, we can stay here before we get engaged. Sheng Xiao kissed her forehead and said. Then, are we going to stay with Sheng Xiao after we get engaged? Muqiqi asked Sheng Xiao. No need. Mom is already preparing a new place for us. Sheng Xiao replied. Shengting University is quite good. It's close to the school. No, it's not convenient to have a private bodyguard there. Sheng Xiao said to Mu Qiqi with a complicated expression. You are my little one. I must protect her with all my might. He knew the Sheng family too well. The security guards could easily open the back door for the Sheng family in the villa near Shengting University. So he needed a separate villa for surveillance and protection. Mu Qiqi would not understand it now, and he did not want her to understand it now. What do you mean? Listen to me. Listen to your husband. Do you understand? Mu Qiqi's heart was filled with sweetness when she heard the word husband. Chapter 247. The 18-year-old Mu Qiqi had won Xing Zhao's heart and entered the Sheng family. She was about to become the legendary crown princess. When the news spread, it became a hot topic in Jianchuan. Huang Yao had beautified Mu Qiqi in public relations. They had also done a lot of publicity and activities. Papa Sheng had completely regarded his son's engagement ceremony as an important publicity tool. Not only that, he even called Sheng Xiao into his office the next day. The father and son rarely sat together to talk about personal matters. Of course, in Sheng Xiao's heart, there was no place for him as a father. Qiqi is just a little girl. You should coax her. She is the daughter of the Shen family after all. But you should understand your grandfather's intention. Qiqi is still young. You still have a few years to think about it. When the time comes, you can tell me if you don't like this girl. He will know how to deal with the aftermath with old Shen. She is just a girl. Don't take her seriously. It is a man's talent to put on a show. Sheng Xiao knew what his father was thinking, but he never cared about what his father thought. As long as his little one entered the Sheng family, he would only chase others out of the Sheng family. If anyone dared to touch his people, he would immediately disown them. As for your wife, I will keep an eye out for you. You can take a look at her from time to time. Qiqi is good, but she can't help you much after weighing the pros and cons. If there is nothing else, I will leave now. Sheng Xiao did not want to talk nonsense with the old man. If you have the time to find a woman for me, you should focus on improving your performance. Huang Yao's quarterly report will be out soon. Papa Sheng's face darkened. You bastard! Sheng Xiao did not say anything. He walked out of Papa Sheng's office. Jing Yun was waiting at the door of the office. When he saw Sheng Xiao coming out, he quickly went up to him. Young master, Madam has asked me to find you a new place to live. I've already found a few villas. You can choose one before I report to Madam. Put the documents on my desk. Sheng Xiao said coldly. I've already released him. But what other unpleasant things did the CEO say? Just tell him I am not around when he comes to me. Sheng Xiao turned to Jing Yun and instructed. Also, report to me if you find out that he has taken a liking to a rich young lady. I'm going to nip all his plans in the bud. Understood. And young master, the entertainment magazines are using Miss Qiqi as a celebrity. She must be feeling a heavy burden. After hearing this, Sheng Xiao stopped in his tracks and thought for a moment. Buy that magazine, and donate the land to build public toilets for the country. It's time to give back to society. It is time to repay society. With those words, Jing Yun turned and was about to leave his office. But before he left, he said meaningfully, Young master, you must protect Miss Qiqi. Sheng Xiao did not say anything. Instead, he looked at Jing Yun. Sheng Xiao did not say anything, but he gave Jing Yun a look. Sheng Xiao looked at the villa information on the table and immediately opened it. He had to make sure that it was the safest and most confidential place before he let Qier move in. The news of their engagement had spread like wildfire. Lu Qianqian had also taken some time to meet Mu Qiqi for tea at a cafe near the school. However, Mu Qiqi was too famous now. That was why people would talk about her wherever she went. Lu Qianqian felt uncomfortable. But Mu Qiqi was calm. Lu Qianqian was not amused. You are acting like the crown princess now. It is always good to get used to it. Have you booked the time? Lu Qianqian asked enviously. Maybe next week or next month. Then I can help you to calm down backstage. But you know I won't be there. I don't want to be a burden. Lu Qianqian said self-deprecatingly. Qianqian. It is good that you understand. You are my best friend. I am the happiest when you and the crown prince get engaged. Lu Qianqian was tearing up. She held Mu Qiqi's hand. You and the crown prince must be together. That will give me the courage to move forward. Mu Qiqi's heart ached. She did not care what the outside world thought of her. But she did not want her best friend to be humiliated under the spotlight. Where is Lin Muan? Have you not contacted him recently? Lu Qianqian wiped her tears and smiled. That coward. Don't mention it. We have not contacted each other for a long time. Mu Qiqi did not say anything else. She walked up to Lu Qianqian and hugged her best friend. You will meet the best. I believe so too. They sat in the cafe for a long time. Then Mu Qiqi returned to the little mansion. But Sheng Xiao was already home. He was with Su Zipei, discussing how to make the simplest chicken soup. Mu Qiqi's eyes turned red when she saw that. Qi, do you dare to eat my chicken? Sheng Xiao leaned on the sofa and asked Mu Qiqi solemnly. I will be very supportive. Mu Qiqi stopped crying and smiled. Sheng Xiao nodded and followed Su Zipei. No one knew what they were talking about in the kitchen. This man was fighting in the market during the day. But when he came home, he behaved like this. The Sheng family would be very surprised if they saw him. After dinner, the man took out a photo of the new house and said to Mu Qiqi, Jing Yin found this place. Take a look and see if you like it. Sheng Xiao was sitting on the sofa. Mu Qiqi was sitting in the gap between his legs. He was hugging Mu Qiqi from behind. Mu Qiqi took the photo and looked at it. What's so special about it? It's called Jing Ting. It's very private. And it has a comprehensive security system. Sheng Xiao answered. It meets all my requirements. Then I'll listen to you. Mu Qiqi smiled and kept the photo. When Sheng Xiao heard that, he turned her neck and kissed her lips. Mu Qiqi was stunned. Aunt and the others are here. It's so late. They should have gone to bed. This man was shameless just for a bite of meat. Why would he care about the place? But Mu Qiqi stared at the door of Su Zipei's room the whole time. She was afraid that the old couple would come out. It would be embarrassing. But because of the secret thrill, they were more comfortable than ever. But when they returned to the room, Mu Qiqi hid in Sheng Xiao's arms and felt that she could not show her face at all. This man was really hateful. Chapter 248. Soon the date of their engagement was confirmed. It would be held half a month later. Mama Sheng had drafted the guest list as soon as possible. But when she handed it to her husband and Grandpa Sheng rejected many of the big shots on the list. Of course, it was not that they did not want to give Sheng Xiao face. But they felt that it was not necessary to make this event look like a wedding. If they invited everyone, it would be embarrassing if they broke up. They only needed a few people to answer to old Shun. After all, the two families have been friends for many years. They could not embarrass the Shun family. Mama Sheng did not agree. But Papa Sheng immediately stopped her and pulled her back to his bedroom. What do you want to do? How grand do you want to be? I have given you enough face. There are no restrictions. But you have to listen to me about the guests. How grand can it be if there are no guests? Mama Sheng laughed. I won't look for you for this matter. I'll go straight to eighth brother and see if our son agrees. It's just an 18-year-old child. The Shun family has given him enough face. What else do you want? Mama Sheng did not talk to her husband anymore, because she knew it was impossible to communicate with him. So she called Sheng Xiao. Son, I have time tonight. Let's meet. In fact, Sheng Xiao already knew that this would happen. After all, he was the only one who cared about Qi. If old Sheng really wanted to, he would have wanted to meet his granddaughter-in-law a long time ago. However, old Sheng did not even mention a word about it. In other words, he did not care who his fiancée was. Sheng Xiao looked at the guest list Mama Sheng sent and put it down. Just do as the old man said. Son. By the way, I have a guest list here. With that, Sheng Xiao took out the list from the drawer of his desk. Take a look. Mama Sheng took it doubtfully. Then her frown eased. That's more like it. You have already thought about it, haven't you? You have to prepare for a rainy day to deal with those old fogies, don't you? Sheng Xiao asked Mama Sheng. Mom, I know that Qi is not valued by the Sheng family. So, it is inevitable that I will fight with my family. You must be prepared. If you really treat Qi like this for the rest of your life, I'll have to thank the gods. Mama Sheng was afraid that Sheng Xiao would abandon her. After all, the girl had given him everything. Sheng Xiao said nothing else but chuckled softly. Did you invite all these people? Jing Yin has already contacted them one by one, and I've called a few of them who hold extraordinary positions last night. They're all friends, and they're willing to do me the honor. Over the years, Sheng Xiao had traveled all over the world, and his network was not built for nothing. It was not a problem to invite a few American tycoons, a French winery tycoon, and a Danish prince. When the time comes, both the Shen families and Sheng Xiao's guests would arrive. Who would be embarrassed if Grandpa Sheng's guest list was so shabby? Then I'm not worried. Mama Sheng nodded, but looked at Sheng Xiao with a deep gaze. She knew very well that no one in the Sheng family could match her son in terms of tactics. Even so, they had lived in harmony over the years, but Chi-Chi's appearance seemed to have broken that balance. Don't think too much, Mom. It would come to this sooner or later no matter who it is. No wonder you told me that you would let me meet my daughter-in-law in 3 months. You really kept your promise. Sheng Xiao raised a brow, his smile confident and flamboyant. Wasn't he always like that? Since you've picked a house, I'll prepare it for you as soon as possible. You can move in after your engagement. And 2 bodyguards. Mama Sheng nodded in agreement. I'll prepare everything for you. Sheng Xiao, I'm standing with you for Chi-Chi. Don't disappoint me. Then why are you standing on Chi-Er's side? Sheng Xiao asked his mother, looking intrigued. Mama Sheng thought about it and finally answered. I have a feeling that you would fight us to the death for her. That's not a feeling. It's real. That's why it's your son's life. Don't touch it. Mama Sheng was stunned. She never knew that her son could be so possessive, and did not know if it was good or bad for Chi-Chi to be with him. But she hoped that she was doing the right thing. After Mama Sheng left, Sheng Xiao stared blankly at the guest list his mother had given him. There was no other reason than that he had the urge to avenge his little one. This old man was hiding something. Did he think that he did not know what he was planning? But he was not in a hurry. He still had a lot of time in the future. After the date of the engagement was announced, both the Sheng and Shen families started to prepare. Grandpa Shen was very satisfied when he got to know Sheng Xiao's guest list. So he invited all his good friends to the banquet. He was doing this to support his granddaughter and cheer her on. Although Grandpa Shen's good friends did not expect that the Shen family would unite with the Sheng family through marriage because of the difference in seniority, what could they do when they met 2 devils? Grandpa Shen had already thrown away his dignity. In the past few days, the matter between Mu Chi-Chi and Sheng Xiao was not just a hot topic. It was a huge blow to Lin Muan, because he had already predicted in his heart that the 2 of them would never get together, because the background and culture of the 2 families were very different. Moreover, there was a gap in their seniority, so he had long thought that the 2 of them would part ways one day. But he never expected that they would get engaged. Because of that, Mu Chi-Chi and Sheng Xiao were about to get engaged. As a young master of a rich family, there were not many people who could marry whoever they wanted. They never had the freedom to do so. That was why he drew a clear line between him and Lu Qianqian. Because he had never thought that there would be someone who could overcome the restraints of the world. In the past few nights, he had thought about it a lot and kept tossing and turning. He had to figure out what he was afraid of losing and what he wanted. And Lu Qianqian's sweaty face kept appearing in his mind. He could not get it out of his mind no matter how hard he tried. That feeling was too uncomfortable. Especially when old Lin told him that he was going to attend Mu Chi-Chi's engagement ceremony half a month later. He suddenly had an impulse and did something very stupid. He called the previous director and asked if he still had Lu Qianqian's number. After all, didn't he delete her number before this? When he got his phone back, he hugged it and lay on the sofa. He hesitated again, because he knew that little Pepper was really irritating. She might ignore him. She might even scold him for being a scumbag or a lunatic. But he just wanted Lu Qianqian's response. Chapter 249. He was very distressed, but he did not know that his phone was placed beside him and accidentally touched it. So he sent a message to Lu Qianqian. Are you having sex? Because every time he typed a word on his phone, there would be some related words on it. So Lin Muan accidentally touched it and chose the related words. Then he sent the message. After a while his phone received a message. Lin Muan picked it up and was shocked. You pervert. Are you crazy? Do you want to be beaten up? When Lin Muan saw this line, all his coolness was gone. He was touched. Because Lu Qianqian finally replied, although it was a beautiful misunderstanding. Yes, Lu Qianqian felt very complicated through the screen. She had not contacted him for a long time. Now, she suddenly contacted him again. She actually felt like she had lost him and found him again. How could a scumbag like Lin Muan be worthy? Eat sh*t. Let's keep in touch. I also want to try causing trouble. After Lin Muan replied, he put down his phone. He finally got rid of his annoyed mood. He whistled and went to take a shower. He did not want to do things step by step anymore. He did not want to listen to orders anymore. He did not want to contact that little pepper anymore. When Lu Qianqian saw this, she also threw away her phone in annoyance. This scumbag. Was he still angry? But for some reason, the corner of her mouth was secretly curling up. After the date of the engagement ceremony was set, the most important thing for Mu Qiqi now was the gown she would wear for the ceremony. Mama Sheng really hired a top international designer to tailor the gown for Mu Qiqi. Of course, Sheng Zhao's gown also needed to be matched. They took the night off and went to the boutique. But the designer was a little surprised when he saw Mu Qiqi was still so young. After listening to the shop assistant's explanation, he gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. An 18-year-old bride. You are really amazing. Now almost everyone in the world called Mu Qiqi an 18-year-old bride. Some of them were envious, while others were simply sarcastic and jealous. Sheng Xiao sat on the sofa and hugged Mu Qiqi. His posture was not easy to get along with. It gave people a dangerous feeling of alienation. Mu Qiqi did not say anything, but Sheng Xiao said to the shop assistant, "Change the designer." Crown Prince, this is. What he said made me very unhappy. I don't care what you say behind my back, but if you can't control your mouth in front of me, you will have to pay the price. I heard your translation just now. The shop assistants were dumbfounded. Their expressions were even uglier than crying. Crown Prince, please forgive us. These people are just trying to make a living. It's not easy. Since you know it won't be easy, then don't take advantage of it. After Sheng Xiao said that, he stood up with Mu Qiqi. The measurements are done. I want to see the design in 2 days. Remember, change the designer. Mu Qiqi couldn't help saying, Xiao Xiao, those words aren't that bad. Besides, don't you get tired of doing that all the time? You're still trying to act innocent after taking advantage of me? Sheng Xiao glanced at her. If I don't show my attitude earlier, they will think that I'm really just playing around. Mu Qiqi said nothing. She simply hugged Sheng Xiao's arm. After all, she was about to become a young bride that everyone envied. Even so, she knew very well that she would only have Sheng Xiao after she joined the Sheng family. Not even Mama Sheng could fully care for her. That was why Sheng Xiao did everything he could to establish her authority and protect her. It was all because he wanted to tell others that his people were not to be touched. Mu Qiqi said nothing, but Sheng Xiao understood her silence. Are you tired? I'm tired for you. Mu Qiqi said helplessly. I didn't do anything. Especially not for you. You'll know if I'm tired later. Sheng Zhao's words had a double meaning. He brought Mu Qiqi to Jingting. Since it would be their long-term residence, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi here to check out the place. This yard has decades of history. Several generations have lived here. But it's well protected because it's often renovated. Mu Qiqi stood downstairs. She was about to say something when Sheng Xiao picked her up and walked into the villa. Xiao Xiao. I didn't let anyone touch the furnishings inside. I asked Mom to change the bed and sheets. Let's try it out now. Hey! Mu Qiqi wanted to resist, but she was stunned when she entered the new house. The bathtub was in the bedroom, and the entire house was filled with French romanticism. It looked like a noble's home. Actually, it's very depressing, isn't it? Sheng Xiao asked Mu Qiqi. He did not do anything when he leaned over and pressed Mu Qiqi down. Huh? The Sheng family and the outside world are giving you invisible pressure. Sheng Xiao explained, completing what he did not say. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao seriously. But I still want to be by your side. I want to be your young bride. Cheer. I was very lonely when you didn't appear. It's only when you appeared that I feel that life is not so boring. That's why I'm holding you with all my might now, and not letting you go. You have your aunt, grandfather, and father. But I only have you. Mu Qiqi's heart ached at Sheng Zhao's words. Such a flamboyant man, a man who was like a god, was telling her that he was lonely. But she could understand Sheng Zhao's loneliness very well. The bigger the family, the less sincere they were. Even a small family was used, let alone a diamond empire like Huang Yao, who did not want diamonds in this world. So she kissed Sheng Zhao's lips. In my heart, you will always be the Sheng Zhao I have a crush on. The Sheng Zhao who brought me to the Ferris wheel, to the revolving restaurant, and to the tattoo shop. That's why I won't leave you easily. Even if the Sheng family is hell, I will go forward bravely for you. Good girl. Sheng Zhao kissed Mu Qiqi's neck. So, you can tell me directly if there is any problem with the Sheng family. I am your young bride, but my heart is not small. It can hold many things. But what if the Sheng family embarrasses you at the engagement ceremony? Then I'll embarrass them 10 times more than me. Mu Qiqi vowed, because she firmly believed that a person's greatest wealth was themselves. She would not change herself for any reason. As long as there was a bottom line, she would never lose her principles when facing others. And to her, the Sheng family making things difficult for her was torturing Sheng Zhao. She would not be a naive girl who would endure everything. She had to protect Sheng Zhao too. Chapter 250. At Jingting Villa. The wedding night was taking place ahead of schedule, while dinner was going on in the Sheng family. Because of Sheng Zhao's marriage, the 4th and 7th eldest sisters had returned early. Aside from them, the eldest young master, and the 6th eldest of the Sheng family had stayed in Jianchuan, while the other siblings were scattered all over the world. Sheng Zhao's father was the eldest in the family, but he was the last to get married. He only got Sheng Zhao when the other 3 brothers were born, and so he was the 8th child in the family. Grandfather, do you think 8th brother should go to the cemetery to pay respects to his ancestors before the engagement according to tradition? As for us brothers and sisters, shouldn't we prepare a big gift for him? 7th sister asked the old man, testing the waters. The old man chuckled but waved her off. Your sister-in-law is still young. You don't have to do that. On the surface, it appeared as if he was using Qiqi's age as a shield, but it also revealed to the entire Sheng family that she was someone whom they did not even need to tell their ancestors about. In other words, the old man did not think much of her at all. That was why it was better not to mention it in front of their ancestors. Although we don't have to pay respects to our ancestors, we can't skip the gift. 7th sister naturally had to speak nicely in front of Mama Sheng. 4th sister glanced at the scene, and then at Mama Sheng, and knew how difficult it was for her to be involved in it. And I must bring my friends on the day of the engagement to celebrate 8th brother's birthday. 4th sister was not a meddlesome person, and only went to Mama Sheng's room alone after dinner. Eldest aunt, grandfather's behavior tonight shows that he doesn't think well of the girl, and he doesn't want to acknowledge her identity. And 7th sister is the one who understands grandfather the most. If she says she wants to bring her friends, wouldn't she be bringing her best friend? It's no secret that she wants to introduce her best friend to 8th brother. But it's a complete provocation to bring her to the engagement party after knowing that 8th brother is engaged. She doesn't think much of you at all. After Mama Sheng heard that, she took a deep breath and sneered. Qiqi is still young. She has become a shield for everything. But before she even entered the Sheng family, she has already been used. That's right. If there's anything you need me for, just let me know. What's 8th brother's attitude? If Sheng Minghui really dares to bring her here, Sheng Xiao will definitely not give her face. Yesterday, this brat told me that Mu Qiqi is his life. Even I, his mother, cannot touch her, let alone others. Oh, how could 8th brother say something like that? I really want to get to know this little sister-in-law. 4th brother of the Sheng family appeared interested in meeting Mu Qiqi. You'll see them soon. 4th sister nodded and left Mama Sheng's room. However, she bumped into Jing Yun on her way back. They looked at each other, and Jing Yun immediately lowered his head and called out, Miss Minglan. Are you working for eighth brother? I'm going back to my room to rest. Then you should rest. It's been a long day. After that, Lao Si was about to return to his room, but he seemed to have thought of something and turned to Jing Yun. I want to meet this little sister-in-law. Can you arrange it? You can tell eighth brother that I won't make things difficult for her. If there's one kind-hearted person in this family, it's Miss Minglan. I'll pass on my message to young master. Fourth sister nodded and turned to return to her room. It was then that Jing Yun withdrew his gaze and clutched his chest. It had been so many years, but nothing had changed. His heart would race every time he met Miss Minglan. He knew why, but he could not say it. Because it was hidden so well, not even Sheng Xiao had noticed it. Late that night, Jing Yun told Sheng Xiao that fourth sister wanted to meet Mu Qiqi. Sheng Xiao did not object. He knew very well who was loyal and who was treacherous in the Sheng family. Among all the siblings, only fourth sister was truly considerate of others. As for the others, they were all utilitarian. I'll bring Qi there after school tomorrow. Understood, young master. Sheng Xiao hung up the phone and turned to look at Mu Qiqi, who was sleeping soundly on the bed. Seeing that she was sleeping soundly, he walked to the study and looked down. He wanted to choose the best place to install the security system. He would do it himself. He would never ask someone else to do it. Qiqi would stir up a storm when she married into the Sheng family. He had to think of a way to protect her. On the other hand, seventh sister called her best friend before she went to bed. Huilan, don't worry. Grandpa doesn't care about that little girl. You still have a chance. Moreover, I tested Grandpa at the dinner table just now. He didn't object to me bringing my best friend here. It means that Grandpa hasn't given up on finding a real wife for eighth brother. You have to show your face in front of Grandpa more often. On the day of the engagement, you can come and see how weak your enemy is. I'm not lying to you. Then it's a promise. You must come when the day comes. It was not wrong to say that Mu Qiqi was weak. She was born with a stain. Even if she was Shen Jianchuan's daughter, as a member of the Shen family, she was not that legitimate. Not to mention that she was a university student. She was also a forensic doctor. There was nothing that Grandpa Shen liked about her. No wonder Grandpa Shen treated her as his own grandson and played house with her. However, she had never thought about Mu Qiqi's position in Sheng Zhao's heart. Perhaps, she thought that no matter how evil Sheng Xiao was, he would not do anything to his sister. So it would depend on whether she could embarrass Mu Qiqi on the engagement ceremony. The next day, Sheng Xiao picked Mu Qiqi up from school and brought her to the hotel. Mu Qiqi saw that it was not the way home, so she asked him, "Where are we going this time?" "I'm bringing you to meet someone. You didn't tell me earlier." "I'm not prepared at all." Mu Qiqi glared at him. "You don't need to prepare anything to meet this person." Then, Sheng Xiao stopped the car at the entrance of the hotel and got out of the car with Mu Qiqi. When they arrived at the private room, Mu Qiqi was relieved when she saw that there was only one woman sitting at the small dining table. It was because fourth sister knew that using a big table would make people feel alienated. So, she asked the waiter to change the table to a small one. After all, there were only 3 or 4 people. When fourth sister saw her, she immediately stood up and said to Sheng Xiao, "Is this the little sister-in-law who made eighth brother create such a big scene?" "This is fourth sister," Sheng Xiao explained. "You can get to know her without worry." Chapter 251. I can't wait to see how special the girl who managed to subdue Sheng Xiao is. So I can't wait for the engagement ceremony. Fourth sister had her hair tied up and was wearing a long black dress. She looked very elegant, but her aura was very gentle. Mu Qiqi liked it very much. Now that I have met her, I am less worried after knowing about Qiqi's past. Now that I have met her, all my worries are gone. Fourth sister smiled. Are you worried that she will be bullied? Sheng Xiao understood what fourth sister meant. Qiqi is not afraid. Her eyes are firm and fearless. She looks just like you when you were young. Fourth sister had always been a good judge of character. I can tell that you have taught her. If that's the case, I am relieved. You should know that your seventh sister is restless. That depends on how restless she is. There was a hint of danger in Sheng Zhao's words. It looks like I'll have to look forward to your engagement ceremony. Mu Qiqi listened to fourth sister and knew that she really liked her sister. Although there were 8 siblings in the Sheng family, they were not that different in age. The 3 of them chatted happily. Laughter could be heard from time to time in the private room. Fourth sister was a very considerate person. She was very considerate when it came to other people's feelings. So during the whole night, she did not even mention anything about Mu Qiqi's age. She did not even mention that Mu Qiqi was an 18-year-old bride. In the meantime, fourth sister went to the washroom. Mu Qiqi could not help but ask Sheng Xiao, "How old is fourth sister? Is she not married yet?" 29. She is single. She used to have a fiancé, but he was greedy for her family background. So he kept a mistress outside. After she found out, he has been single ever since. Mu Qiqi nodded and did not ask further. But fourth sister brought Jingyan back to the Sheng family. Jingyan was only in his teens then. Because he is the same age as me, he has been with me ever since. I see. There are so many stories in the Sheng family. No matter how many stories there are, they are not as legendary as you, little one. Not everyone could win him over at 18. Soon, fourth sister came out of the washroom. She said, "I brought you a gift from Vienna. I will give it to you next time." Fourth sister, you don't have to be so polite. No, eighth brother asked me for it. I must get it for him. Mu Qiqi did not refuse, and the 3 of them left the hotel together. Soon, fourth sister's car sped away in front of Sheng Xiao and Sheng Xiao. Mu Qiqi was very envious of fourth sister of the Shen family, because she remembered that Sheng Xiao had mentioned that fourth sister was a legend as well. I think I'm getting to know your family better now, and you better. Mu Qiqi couldn't help telling him on the way home. Holding her little fist, Sheng Xiao brought her home for a stroll. It was too close to Jingting. It was also because old fourth had taken their convenience into consideration. Didn't we agree to live in a small villa before the engagement? I still want to see Auntie more. I suddenly regret saying that. Sheng Xiao suddenly pressed Mu Qiqi against a tree by the roadside and kissed her without caring about the occasion. I wanted to kiss you like this in the small mansion too. Mu Qiqi leaned against the tree and looked at the crowd around them. She blushed. You are so naughty. Sheng Xiao was satisfied after teasing Mu Qiqi. Then, he let go of her and brought her back to the hotel. Sheng Xiao wanted Mu Qiqi to smile like that for the rest of her life. But at the same time, he felt sorry for her. Because she never cared why old Sheng did not want to see her, why they had to prepare for the engagement ceremony, and why they had to fight the enemy as if it was a battlefield. It was as if she trusted him without hesitation all the way, even if she knew that she was going to suffer. Silly girl. 2 days later, the gowns for the engagement ceremony were sent to Jingting. The bodyguards that Sheng Xiao had requested from Mama Sheng were also sent to Jingting. Besides that, Mama Sheng had specially hired someone to take care of Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's daily life. It was a very thoughtful arrangement. The bodyguard was on standby. As for the maid who took care of Mu Qiqi, Sheng Xiao asked her to come to work after the engagement ceremony. At the moment, Mu Qiqi was standing in the bedroom, staring blankly at the gown on the bed. Try it on. Seeing the man behind her, Mu Qiqi turned around and said, I don't want you to see it. Otherwise, there will be no surprise on the day of the engagement. Sheng Xiao pulled her to sit on his lap and nodded. As you wish. But you have to try it on. If there is anything that doesn't fit, we can change it. It was custom made. So fast. Sheng Xiao shook his head and explained. This is a gown worn by a princess abroad. I asked someone to modify it and make it unique. It's used to show your status. Mu Qiqi looked at the gown on the bed. She immediately knew how heavy it was. I will ask Qianqian to help me try it on tomorrow. Sheng Xiao did not force her. He pulled her closer and kissed her. It must be very tiring to prepare for the engagement. If you can't take it, I will ask Mom to simplify it. No need. As your woman, am I so weak? How many people are waiting to see me make a fool of myself? I don't want to admit defeat so easily. Mu Qiqi did not have the slightest intention to compromise. Soon, it would be the day of her engagement with Xiao Xiao. It would be one of the most unforgettable events in her life. She should not let a few clowns ruin it. Moreover, who said that she was still an outsider after entering the Sheng family. She would tell the Sheng family that she and Xiao Xiao were the most compatible in this world. Are you nervous? No. After all, if someone really embarrasses me during the engagement ceremony, Grandpa and Dad will not let it go. Fourth sister was right. The little one's eyes were shining. At this moment, Sheng Xiao was very obsessed with this little one. You are a bodyguard and a servant. Why don't you just be yourself? Your grandpa doesn't approve of me, but it doesn't mean that I can't get his approval. We still have time, don't we? After hearing this, Sheng Xiao's eyes flashed with a smile. Then he pressed the little one on the bed. Hey, the gown is on me. Can you at least tidy up the gown? Isn't there only one? After dinner in the Sheng family, fourth sister was about to go back to her room, but seventh sister pulled her back. Sister, I heard that you went to see Xing Zhao's bride? Fourth sister looked at the owner of her hand and frowned, but she did not show it. I have seen her. She is very beautiful. Chapter 252. Fourth sister let go of her sister's hand and smiled. It's not up to you to decide what kind of wife Xing Xiao wants. It's up to Grandpa to decide what kind of granddaughter-in-law he wants. I understand that you want to push your little sister up the ladder. But seventh sister, I will not be involved in this matter. You should find someone else. Sister, we're family. Please help me. How about this? I will call Sheng Xiao and ask him if he wants to change his bride. It will be a help to you. Having said that, fourth sister was about to take out her phone. But seventh sister held her hand. Sister, I am just joking. You don't have to take it seriously. You really don't need it? You stopped me just now. You want me to help you? Fourth sister asked seventh sister again. Don't blame me for not being considerate when the time comes. No, I won't. Seventh sister waved her hand. Fourth sister turned around and left. Seventh sister snorted. Do you think you can control everything just because you are older than me? I can't bully you, but I can bully the bride. Oh, I am sorry. Then you won't be able to bully me. The next day, Mu Qiqi invited Lu Qianqian to Jingting. She wanted Qianqian to see if the gown fit her. When Lu Qianqian arrived at the villa, she was surprised. The crown prince is so generous. Qiqi, this villa is so difficult to buy. Now it is your and the crown prince's love nest. Moreover, there are bodyguards. The crown prince is so considerate. You like to laugh at me. Hurry up and help me try on the gown. Mu Qiqi took out the gown from the wardrobe. It was a full-length gown. The hem of the gown was in the shape of a feather. The body of the gown was decorated with feathers. It symbolized the wings of an angel. Lu Qianqian was stunned. Hurry up and put it on. Let me see. Mu Qiqi put on the gown. Then, she felt that the front was a little empty. She covered it. My breasts are not big enough. You are wrong. The crown prince knows what is the most beautiful part of you. It is such a waste not to show your slender neck. You are so perfect. Lu Qianqian gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. It is perfect. Mu Qiqi looked at herself in the mirror and felt like she had been reborn. It was as if she was about to become another person. Crown Prince really has a good eye. I'm afraid I've given you all the best things in the world. Mu Qiqi carefully took off the gown and put it back into the closet. Then, she looked at Lu Qianqian. I still want you to attend my engagement ceremony. Didn't we agree before? I'm not going. Lu Qianqian smiled nonchalantly. Moreover, that person would be put in a difficult position if she went. Anyway, I have my own considerations and things I want to protect. You don't have to worry about them. In the end, Mu Qiqi did not insist. All right then. These few days, Lu Qianqian had been thinking about a lot when she reconnected with Lin Muan. Since Lin Mu and was willing to continue being friends with her despite his family's objections, she could not be so impulsive and make things difficult for her friend. Since the outside world had so many opinions about her, she would try her best to keep a low profile. After having lunch with Mu Qiqi and Jingting, Lu Qianqian went to the martial arts club. Lin Muan was already there. He was waiting impatiently. You've stepped on the ants. I'm going to Jingting to see Mu Qiqi try on her gown. Lu Qianqian changed into her sportswear and walked to the sandbag. Aren't you going to her engagement ceremony? Lin Muan asked curiously. Do you think it's good for her if I go? Lu Qianqian clenched her fist and punched the sandbag. Since you know what to do, why go and embarrass yourself? If you want to go, I have a way. Lin Muan said. I lack a female companion. I can help you to dress up. Won't it be even more embarrassing if you are exposed? Lu Qianqian glared at Lin Muan. Don't keep coming up with stupid ideas. Lin Muan laughed when he heard that. Lu Qianqian, you are pretty and have a good family. Why are you blind? If I'm not blind, how can I be your friend? Lu Qianqian snorted. Let's meet somewhere else. It's not just the martial arts club. You still owe me a day. If you are photographed, your reputation as young Master Lin will be ruined. Lu Qianqian did not think much of it. If worse comes to worst, I will fall into the devil's path with you. Lin Muan smiled warmly. If we want to be friends, we should be the most loyal and considerate ones. Otherwise, we are just plastic flowers. Lu Qianqian did not say anything. She just smiled secretly when she turned around. When she is getting engaged, you should help to keep an eye on her. If there are any messy people who cause trouble for Qi, help her to make a name for herself. Lin Muan patted his chest after he heard that. What's wrong with that? Leave it to me. Then Lin Muan chased after Lu Qianqian and asked, Do you know how to swim? I need a coach. The kind where I can kiss and breathe in the water. And Lu Qianqian's answer was of course a beating. The preparation for the engagement was very fast. Mama Sheng tried her best to make it unforgettable for her son. And the Shen family asked Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao to go to the Shen family's ancestral hall 3 days before the engagement. Although there was no place for Mu Qiqi in the Sheng family, Sheng Xiao was recognized as their grandson-in-law in the eyes of the Shen family. Tell the ancestors that the Shen family has a new member. Grandpa Shen stood behind them and said to them, Sheng Xiao, I don't know the rules of the Sheng family. But from today onwards, you are also a part of the Shen family. If you dare to let Mu Qiqi down one day, the Shen family's ancestral hall, and the rules in Grandpa Shen's hands will be ready for you. I will remember. Sheng Xiao only answered Grandpa Shen with these 4 words. Since you have told the ancestors, you can go now. See you at the engagement ceremony. Grandpa Shen said to them, Grandpa, go. Grandpa Shen drove Mu Qiqi away. Mu Qiqi wanted to say something, but Grandpa Shen had already turned his back to them. Sheng Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and led her out of the Shen family. We are staying in Jingting, not in the Sheng family. You can come back to the Shen family anytime. Mu Qiqi turned around and looked at Grandpa Shen. Then, she got rid of Sheng Xiao's hand and knelt at the door. She kowtowed to Grandpa Shen. She would not let down the glory of the Shen family. Sheng Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi. When she kowtowed to him, he said, Qi, it's not too late to regret it now. You are already claiming that you are the grandson-in-law of the Shen family. Do you still want to deny it? Mu Qiqi stood up and glared at Sheng Xiao. Xiao Xiao, you are so worried now. It means that the engagement ceremony will be exciting. Chapter 253. On the night before the engagement, Mama Sheng arranged for them to have dinner alone. She also wanted Papa Sheng to meet his daughter-in-law before the engagement, so that he would not make a fool of himself during the engagement ceremony. In fact, her husband's indifference towards this matter had left a scar in Mama Sheng's heart. So, she did not expect her husband to acknowledge Mu Qiqi's identity, because it was not important. She was never a woman who depended on a man. It was fine if her husband did not like Mu Qiqi. She would love Xiao Qi just like her son. No one could force others to stand on the same side as them, even if that man was their own husband. It was 7 o'clock at night. Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi along. They dressed up and went to meet his parents in the hotel. Of course, Sheng Xiao had already given Mu Qiqi a heads-up beforehand. As a father, he just had to put on a perfunctory front on the surface. There was no need to deliberately curry favor with him, because he knew very well what kind of person his father was. Soon, the 4 of them sat in the dining room. Papa Sheng studied Mu Qiqi from the moment he sat down. Although he was looking at her cursorily, he did not make things difficult for her. After all, he still had to give face to the Shen family. Mu Qiqi did not have stage fright. Her posture was very calm. Every movement of hers was very calm. She showed great manners. Mama Sheng nodded in satisfaction when she saw that. Although Xiao Qi had a rough life, she did not slack off in terms of etiquette. She behaved like a lady of a rich family. This was the first time Papa Sheng saw her, so he could not find any fault with her. So Papa Sheng could only pick on Sheng Zhao's faults. Although you are engaged, you should still focus on your career. After dinner you should go home. I have something important to tell you. I am engaged tomorrow. Sheng Xiao did not think much of it. It won't affect your good fortune. Papa Sheng snorted, but he could not find fault with Mu Qiqi from the beginning to the end. Moreover, he was very conflicted. He did not like Mu Qiqi, but he was afraid of her identity as a shun. So he could only ignore her. When it was almost time for dinner, he told Mu Qiqi, "You are only 18. You are very young. But don't exhaust Sheng Xiao too much. Do you understand? You must be a good wife for him. 18 is the right age to have fun, but I hope that he will still focus on expanding his career. Can you promise me that?" Mu Qiqi did a double take and was about to answer when Sheng Xiao put an arm over her shoulder and told Papa Sheng, "She won't agree to anything because I'm the one bothering her." Papa Sheng was angry, but he didn't flare up. Instead, he sighed helplessly and left first. "Your father wants you to come home. Let me send Qiqi home first," Mama Sheng said to Sheng Xiao. Sheng Xiao shook his head and refused. "I'll take her home with me and let her stay in my room. We'll go home together when this is over." When Mama Sheng heard this, she could only nod. "Even Mom is worried?" "It's not that I'm worried. I just can't bear to part with you for even a second." Sheng Xiao held Mu Qiqi's hand and smiled at Mama Sheng. Mama Sheng couldn't do anything to her son, so she cleared the way for him. Logically speaking, Qiqi is perfectly justified in going to the Sheng family. She shouldn't have any scruples. Still, I know that the brat doesn't want to make you uncomfortable, so I won't tell the rest of the Sheng family. Thank you, pretty aunt. Mu Qiqi could feel that Mama Sheng treated her sincerely, from the preparations for the engagement ceremony to the reception of people. That was why she could treat Mama Sheng as her own mother. Soon, the two cars drove into the Sheng's residence one after the other. Mu Qiqi was left in awe when she saw the entire villa complex. After all, she had seen a lot of things, but she was still shocked by the Sheng family's grandeur. "We went to 8th brother's room from another route. You can rest in his room first." Mama Sheng opened the door to Sheng Zhao's room and settled Mu Qiqi inside. "If you want to come out and get to know everyone, I can bring you." "Mom." "It's okay, Mom." Mu Qiqi answered a little awkwardly. "You'll be Mom after tomorrow. You don't have to be nervous," Mama Sheng said gently and closed the door for Mu Qiqi. This was the place where Xiao Xiao grew up. It was designed in a very masculine style. It was tough and sexy. The whole room was mainly gray, but it was not monotonous at all. Mu Qiqi walked around Sheng Zhao's room. Then, she sat on his big bed and waited. She could see that Xiao Xiao did not like to read. There was not even a magazine in his room. At that moment, Sheng Minghui heard that Sheng Xiao was back. So she told her best friend Hui Lan the good news. "Hui Lan, this is your last chance. 8th brother is getting engaged tomorrow. He's living outside now. It's not easy for him to come back. You must seize the chance. Are you sure he's back? The light in his room is on." Sheng Minghui was very excited. "You're so beautiful. You have such a good family background. And you like him so much. I can't think of a reason for him to reject you. At least you're better than that stunted girl, right?" The other party weighed the pros and cons. She felt that this might be her chance. She wanted to see if she could make Sheng Xiao not get engaged to Mu Qiqi. "Then I'll come over now. We're so close. I'll wait for you." Sheng Minghui felt that she could still fight for her friend, because she was confident that her friend was better than Mu Qiqi in every aspect. But she never thought that as the crown prince of Huangyao, Sheng Xiao could get any woman he wanted. Since it was Mu Qiqi, she must have her strong points. A person's feelings were not about comparing conditions all the time. But of course she was still single. So, she did not understand this. At that moment, Sheng Xiao was still in Papa Sheng's study, and Mu Qiqi was waiting in Sheng Zhao's room. Mama Sheng knew that fourth sister liked her sister-in-law. So, she told her that Mu Qiqi was in Sheng Zhao's room. Fourth sister had just returned home. She wanted to tidy herself up before going to Sheng Zhao's room. But then, Sheng Minghui and her friend had already arrived at the door of Sheng Zhao's room. Eighth brother, are you there? Sheng Minghui knocked on the door to listen to what was going on inside. Because Mu Qiqi had just washed her hands, she could hear the sound of water. So, Sheng Minghui was sure that someone was inside. I know you're there. Open the door for me. Mu Qiqi did not answer. She thought that since she could not hide anymore, she might as well meet the Sheng family. But Sheng Minghui said to Huilan, you can talk at the door. He will definitely hear you. Then turn around. Sheng Minghui's friend said to her, blushing. Chapter 254. Sheng Xiao, I'm Huilan. I know you are getting engaged tomorrow, but... Hearing this, Mu Qiqi retracted her hand from the doorknob. She stopped moving, because she knew what kind of situation she was in. I'm not satisfied. I want to ask you personally. Can you not get engaged tomorrow? Hey, tell me what's on your mind. Sheng Minghui was a little anxious. She urged her friend. You must have a reason to stop Sheng Xiao from getting engaged, right? Actually, I've been paying attention to you for a long time. Our family background is similar. Moreover, I'm good friends with your seventh sister. I don't want to miss you. So I shamelessly came to your room at night. I want to ask you, if I tell you that I like you too, will you consider not getting engaged to that little girl? There was no response in the room. To be exact, Mu Qiqi had taken out her phone and recorded the conversation. Can you open the door for me? Sheng Xiao, it's disrespectful of you to do this. At that moment, fourth sister came to Sheng Zhao's room. She frowned when she saw seventh sister and her friend there. What are you doing here? I'm looking for Sheng Xiao. Haven't you given up yet? Fourth sister was a sharp-eyed person. She knew what seventh sister was trying to do. Do you know who is in the room? Who? It's not Sheng Xiao. Fourth sister replied. I didn't expect you to do such a thing. They are getting engaged tomorrow. Are you trying to snatch the bride? Sheng Minghui's face darkened. She looked at her best friend. Both of their faces were red, because they did not expect such an outcome. Fourth sister, I just want Sheng Xiao to have more choices. After all, that little girl from the Shen family is not good enough for Sheng Xiao. Fourth sister did not want Mu Qiqi to be sad. So she called Sheng Xiao. Where are you? Something happened outside your room. Come back for a while. Sister. Since you said you want Sheng Xiao to have more choices, I'll help you inform him. After hanging up, Sheng Xiao left Papa Sheng and went back to his room. But he saw 3 people at the door. So, Sheng Xiao, you should deal with this yourself. Fourth sister looked at Sheng Minghui and her friend seriously. It's so late, and seventh sister is going to start singing? It would have been better if Sheng Xiao had not opened his mouth, but when he did, it was a terrifying tone. Then let's go to the Sheng family's hall to sing. Lao Ba, don't embarrass our guest. Huilan is your guest tomorrow. Is that so? A guest should be where a guest should be. I don't think she should appear in front of my room. Sheng Xiao made a welcoming gesture. Sheng Minghui was left speechless and could only lead her friend ahead. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao gestured to fourth sister to comfort the little one in the room. Fourth sister nodded and made an okay gesture. When they arrived at the living room, everyone from the Sheng family was invited, including Papa Sheng, Mama Sheng, Grandpa Sheng, third uncle and fourth uncle. Of course, seventh sister was fourth uncle's child. Sheng Xiao, what are you doing at this time of the night? I don't want to. But third uncle, I really want to know how fourth uncle teaches his daughter. Sheng Xiao sat on the sofa, not afraid of anyone at all. Grandpa Sheng was prepared that Sheng Xiao would make a scene. He loved and hated this grandson at the same time. Sheng Xiao, what do you mean? Fourth uncle stared at him and asked. I want to know what seventh sister is thinking. Why did she bring your best friend to my room the night before my engagement? Why? Did she bring me a woman? Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui and asked. You are the eldest daughter of the Sheng family, and you are my elder sister. Is it appropriate for you to do this? Sheng Xiao, I mean well. Moreover, Huilan likes you. I just want to give you another choice. Not to mention Sheng Xiao. Even Mama Sheng was angry when she heard what Sheng Xiao said. So, I am not Xing Zhao's mother. You are, aren't you? You even know to prepare another wife for my son. Eldest aunt, that's not what I mean. Since that's not what you mean, you should know shame as a young lady of the Sheng family. You brought an unmarried child to the Sheng family. Moreover, she is in front of Sheng Zhao's room. Do you know how much it will affect him? Who do you want to ruin? Do you need to decide what kind of woman Sheng Xiao likes? Sheng Minghui blushed. She did not know what to do, because Mama Sheng had never been so angry at the Sheng family. That little girl is not good enough for Sheng Xiao. It has nothing to do with you whether she is good enough for him or not. Grandpa Sheng was furious when he saw his family quarreling. Enough. Although seventh sister has crossed the line, she means well. Moreover, there are guests here. Don't embarrass them. Grandpa, I just want to. Don't think about anything. Chi-Chi is in Sheng Zhao's room. She saw what you did just now. Mama Sheng was trembling with anger. She told Sheng Minghui directly. Let the Shen family see how seventh sister looks like. Let them see how different she is from the pimps outside. Xiaoqin, you've crossed the line. Grandpa Sheng scolded Mama Sheng. You want your friend to get engaged to me, don't you? Sheng Xiao, who had been silent for a while, suddenly spoke. No one knew what he meant, but they could feel that his evil nature was acting up again. Fine. Get engaged to me. Then, I will tie her up and throw her into the Atlantic Ocean. You know that I like to watch sharks hunting for food. Or, I should say that there is a new amusement park in America. The roller coasters there do not require seatbelts. I have been wanting to let someone try it for a long time. Since Miss Hui Lan likes me so much, why don't you help me try it? Or perhaps Miss Hui Lan likes the sun? I like to see people being hung on a mountain. Enough. Sheng Xiao, is this how you treat a toy? Sheng Minghui was angry. She likes you. It's not wrong. Since she is willing to be with me, what's wrong with suffering a little? I like to treat women like this. What's wrong with me? You. Didn't you want to ask me if I have another choice? Why? Are you not satisfied with my answer? Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui coldly. I have been like this since I was young. Is this the first time you see it? Sheng Minghui's mouth was trembling. She could not say a word. As for her friend, she was so scared that her face turned green. Babe, I think I'll go home first. Hui Lan couldn't stand Sheng Zhao's piercing gaze anymore. It made her shudder. Chapter 255. Sheng Minghui questioned Sheng Xiao when she saw him losing his composure. Even if you don't like her, you don't have to scare her like that. I'm serious about every word I said. Sheng Xiao looked straight into Sheng Minghui's eyes. Let's talk about seventh sister now. Fourth uncle, shouldn't you give me an explanation? Why did your daughter bring another woman to my room the night before my engagement? Sheng Xiao, your seventh sister just wanted to do something for you. You don't have to be so aggressive. Fourth uncle told Sheng Xiao calmly. It's your daughter's fault now. Don't turn your attention to me. If I let this matter go, I'll be even more lawless in the future. I don't know if I'll give seventh sister a black man, or something when I'm in a good mood. Then, I'll let seventh sister show off her international pedigree. Sheng Zhao's eyes were filled with a rebellious light. He was fearless. Fourth uncle was shocked when he heard that. But he couldn't find any words to refute Sheng Xiao. Because Sheng Xiao was telling the truth. If Grandpa Sheng didn't punish Sheng Minghui today, it would be a precedent for Sheng Xiao. He would be even more unscrupulous. Grandpa, look at what Sheng Xiao said. Sheng Minghui was shocked too, because it was definitely something Sheng Xiao would do. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath. Then he looked at Sheng Minghui. Apologize to your brother. Moreover, you don't have to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. I'm not the one she should apologize to. Mom, please bring Mu Chi-Chi here. Sheng Xiao turned to Mama Sheng. Mama Sheng nodded and got up from the sofa. Sheng Minghui was reluctant. But when she thought about the black man Sheng Xiao mentioned just now, her palms were sweating. Sheng Xiao, is it worth it for you to fall out with your family, just for a little girl? Old man, it's not because of Qi, or that I'm doing this. It's just that I really don't like the way seventh sister does things. No matter who gets engaged to me today, based on seventh sister's way of doing things, shouldn't she be hacked into pieces? Grandpa Sheng was speechless. Then he got angry. I'm not feeling well. You guys can do whatever you want. Of course, Sheng Xiao knew that no matter what he did today, Grandpa Sheng would blame it on Mu Qiqi. But he didn't care. He just couldn't let the little things suffer, whether it was now or in the future. As long as someone bullied Qi, he would deal with them first. Soon, Mama Sheng and fourth sister brought Mu Qiqi to the living room. Seeing so many elders, Mu Qiqi greeted them after Mama Sheng introduced them to her. Of course, it was awkward to meet under such circumstances. Mu Qiqi could feel her father's disdain and indifference towards her. Isn't there someone who wants to apologize? Sheng Xiao pulled Mu Qiqi to sit beside him and reminded Sheng Minghui. Sheng Minghui was helpless. She walked up to them and said, "Sister-in-law, I didn't do it on purpose. Don't be angry at me. I promise that I will treat you like a family member from now on. It's good enough that seventh sister doesn't cause trouble." Sheng Xiao looked up at her and said, "I hope that fourth uncle can teach your daughter well in the future. An unmarried girl shouldn't worry about other families." Humph. Fourth uncle snorted coldly and returned to his room with Sheng Minghui. The other elders also left one after another. Only Mama Sheng and fourth sister stayed in front of Sheng Xiao and Sheng Minghui. Although we have offended some elders today, it's inevitable for Sheng Xiao to do this. Seventh sister has gone too far. Fourth sister comforted Mu Qiqi. "Xiaoqi, don't take it to heart. We have been through this for so many years. It's not because of you. Don't take it to heart." Fourth sister, I understand. Mu Qiqi comforted fourth sister. All right. Seventh sister has gone too far today. Don't think too much about it. Go back and rest early. Tomorrow is the engagement ceremony. You still have a lot of work to do. But judging from Grandpa's attitude, he is angry tonight. He might not attend the ceremony tomorrow, fourth sister guessed. It doesn't matter. He will come. Sheng Xiao was very sure. Then, he hugged Mu Qiqi and stood up. Mom, fourth sister, will go back first. Go. Mama Sheng nodded. When they had gone far away, she sighed and said to fourth sister, "I really like Qiqi. She can endure anything for Sheng Xiao. She is not the kind of person who values a rich family. What the Sheng family thinks is great might not be what she wants." Eldest aunt, I have never seen Sheng Xiao so angry at home. Look at him. He did not care about seventh sister's feelings at all. It's obvious that he is trying to show off his power to Qiqi. So don't worry. Fourth sister comforted Mama Sheng. Moreover, Qiqi is not the kind of girl who will be controlled by others. She is talented and has her own ideas. We can't tell what will happen in the future. Mama Sheng smiled. Then she pointed at fourth sister's lips and said, "You are the sweet one." After that, they went back to their rooms to rest. However, on their way back, fourth sister bumped into Jing Yin again. So she stopped him. "Jing Yin, take good care of your young master. Miss Minglan, you have to take care of yourself too. You have lost weight again." Fourth sister nodded. "Come to my room. Give Qiqi a present. I forgot about it tonight." Jing Yin followed behind fourth sister in a daze. Then he saw her taking out a big gift box and a small one. "The big one is for Qiqi. The small one is for you. I remember that you liked robots when you were young. You saw a special one in Vienna. So you bought it." Jing Yin's eyes changed instantly. He took the gift and thanked fourth sister. "Thank you, Miss Minglan." But in fact only he knew how turbulent his heart was. Fourth sister did not forget about him. Every time she went, she would bring him a gift. He kept it in his heart to warm himself. On the way back to Jingting, Mu Qiqi peeped at Sheng Xiao more than once. Although she knew that his expression was the same as usual, she could feel that he was angry. "I am fine. You are fine. But I am not." Sheng Xiao sped up. "If fourth sister did not see it, were you planning to keep it a secret? I have recorded it. I am going to open the door and let them know that Sheng Xiao's woman is inside." Mu Qiqi explained. "Do you think that I will swallow my anger? Don't forget that I am also the one who tore Rong Junhan apart. Do you think that your seventh sister is my opponent? You really want to see it? So, I am the one who made you useless?" Chapter 256. Do you care? Sheng Xiao drove the car into the parking lot of Jingting and brought Muchichi home. I don't care. I still have Grandpa and Dad. Muchichi said. It won't be too embarrassing. Grandpa Sheng's attitude towards Muchichi would determine how the Sheng family would treat her. And Grandpa Sheng would most likely not attend the wedding tomorrow, because he had forced Sheng Minghui to do it tonight. He was a vengeful person, and would definitely punish him. But he was not worried. He had a way to make Grandpa Sheng attend the wedding tomorrow. When they reached home, Sheng Xiao saw that Muchichi had rearranged everything in the house. She changed into the couple's pajamas and shoes. Everything was for two. Sheng Xiao could not help but press Muchichi against the wall. Are you so impatient that you want to be with me? Muchichi smiled. Muchichi could feel his hot hands moving over her body. She explained, It's so beautiful. I feel like I am possessed. Sheng Xiao tore Muchichi's clothes and exposed her chest. The world is so big, and there are so many women. Why must I have you? Muchichi unbuttoned Sheng Xiao's shirt and kissed his chest slowly. Because you love me. Right by the door, right on the corridor, Sheng Xiao kissed the little one fiercely. She would become his fiancée tomorrow. While the two of them were passionately kissing, they had unknowingly taken off their clothes. By the time they regained their senses, their bodies had already involuntarily moved closer to the bed. Everything in the house came in pairs. It made Sheng Xiao feel a sweetness he had never felt before. So at this moment he just wanted to love his Xiaoqi. He wanted to give her his most gentle love. So it was rare for Muchichi to feel Sheng Xiao's gentleness. And it was like a feather brushing against her body. I can't take it anymore. You can't take it anymore? Sheng Xiao lifted her chin and smiled. Then, he continued what he was doing, making the little woman feel comfortable in both body and mind. Of course, Sheng Minghui was embarrassed and humiliated by Sheng Xiao that night. She threw a tantrum for hours after she returned to her room, but she had nowhere to vent the grievance in her heart. More importantly, she was not allowed to attend the engagement ceremony tomorrow. Who cared? However, she couldn't let Muchichi have an easy time. So, she called all her good friends, and told them to help her cause trouble for Muchichi tomorrow. She didn't believe that Muchichi would be easy to deal with. To her, Sheng Xiao was too much of a scum. She had good intentions, and yet she was treated like this. In front of the whole family, the young lady of the Sheng family had to apologize to that silly girl. Not only that, but Hui Lan was also scared away. From now on, Hui Lan would probably never want to contact her again, right? How abominable. Whenever Sheng Minghui thought about it, she would feel annoyed. Fourth sister was also fawning over that silly girl. Would something that even Grandpa doesn't approve of have a good ending in the Sheng family? I'll wait and see. The next day was the engagement ceremony of the Crown Prince of Huangyao. Because it was too grand, the media broadcast it live from the venue to the guests. Because Sheng Xiao was so influential, Mama Sheng seemed to have made up her mind. She wanted everyone to know that her son already had a fiancé. Although she could not stop her husband and Grandpa Sheng from making other plans in the end, she had to do it within her power. She wanted to do it with a clear conscience for her son and Muchichi. In the wee hours of the morning, Sheng Xiao sent Muchichi back to the Shen family. The next morning he went to welcome her. Muchichi woke up early and started to dress up. Grandpa Shen's eyes turned red when he saw how beautiful his granddaughter was. I thought that it's still early. You're still too young. I can keep you for a few more years to make it up to you. But, Grandpa. Muchichi held Grandpa Shen's hand. She felt very sorry for him. After I got engaged to Xiao Xiao, I still come home to visit you and second aunt's family. I'm not lost. Don't be so sad. Shen Jianchuan came home from the hospital in the wee hours of the morning. Seeing how beautiful his daughter was, he couldn't help but say, My dear daughter. Daddy. Muchichi bent down and hugged Shen Jianchuan gently. I'm sorry. I haven't done my duty as a daughter. I haven't taken good care of you. Do you think that your father is old? Shen Jianchuan couldn't do anything else. He could only comfort Muchichi. Wait for me. I'll definitely recover. Then, I'll take care of my daughter personally. Alright, don't cry. Huang Yu stood at the side and persuaded them. Sheng Xiao will come to pick you up later. If you cry and embarrass yourself at the engagement ceremony, it won't be good. Actually, There were not such strict rules at the engagement ceremony. But Sheng Xiao was considerate of Mu Qiqi's desire to see the Shen family. So he sent Mu Qiqi back to the Shen family in the wee hours of the morning, so that she could accompany her grandfather and father. As for Su Zipei, Mu Qiqi didn't want her to be too excited, because she was pregnant. So, she did not bring her over. Soon the sky was bright. A beautiful white car had arrived at the entrance of the Shen family. Sheng Xiao was wearing a black handmade suit today. It was rare for him to be formal. It showed the maturity and responsibility of a man. When she saw Sheng Xiao, Huang Yu asked Mu Qiqi to stand up and turn around. It was the first time Sheng Xiao saw Mu Qiqi wearing that gown. Just like what she said, she wanted to give him a surprise. At this moment, when Sheng Xiao saw Xiao Qi putting on the gown for him, he felt indescribably proud of himself. The sense of ceremony rose in his heart. Sheng Xiao, I'll leave Mu Qiqi to you, Grandpa Shen said. Then, he put Mu Qiqi's hand in Sheng Xiao's. Don't let anyone bully her. Mu Qiqi is so beautiful. How would Sheng Xiao dare to bully her? Huang Yu smiled. Everyone, let's go. It's almost time. Sheng Xiao led Mu Qiqi and walked in front. At this moment, the newlyweds were the most beautiful couple in the world. Mama Sheng and fourth sister also came to welcome Mu Qiqi. When they saw Mu Qiqi in her gown, their eyes turned red without knowing it. Xiao Qi is so beautiful, Sheng Minglan sighed. She's young and beautiful. From the looks of it, Sheng Xiao is really cunning. He had his eyes on his young wife at such a young age. He made her fair and plump. Then like a fox, he took Xiao Qi into his fox nest. Mama Sheng was touched. She smiled. Qiqi is the most beautiful bride I've ever seen. As for Sheng Xiao. Chapter 257. Then, I will allow you to look at me for a while. Mu Qiqi smiled brightly. Sheng Xiao subconsciously held Mu Qiqi's hand tightly and led her to the white car. Then, they set off for the banquet hall. Because here, they were about to complete the first major event in their lives, their engagement. Then, the Shen family arrived at the hotel, where the engagement ceremony was going to be held. It was on the lawn behind the hotel. Su Zipei was supposed to go with the Shen family, but she felt a pain in her stomach before she went out. Lu Wenhua was so scared that he sent her to the hospital for a checkup. The guests arrived one after another, but Mu Qiqi was a stranger to them. She only followed the man beside her. At the same time, Shen Ruai was dressing up in front of the mirror. It was Mu Qiqi's engagement ceremony. As her cousin, should she attend it? She had nowhere to vent her anger. She wanted Mu Qiqi to feel embarrassed even if she was going to die. At the engagement ceremony, Mama Sheng and fourth sister returned to the hotel early to welcome the guests. However, Grandpa Sheng did not show up. At that moment, both of them knew that the old urchin was purposely not attending his grandson's engagement ceremony. It was all because Sheng Xiao had caused a scene at Sheng Mansion last night. When people asked about Grandpa Sheng, Mama Sheng could only tell them that Grandpa Sheng was not feeling well, and would only come after a short rest. Sheng Xiao was the crown prince of Huang Yao. He was his favorite grandson. How could he not attend Sheng Zhao's engagement ceremony? A discerning person could see the crux of the matter. Perhaps the old man did not like the little bride. But when the Shen family heard about it, they would feel uncomfortable. Xiao Qin, what's wrong with Grandpa Sheng? Is he not feeling well? Grandpa Shen asked Mama Sheng. There are so many guests today. If Grandpa Sheng does not show up, how can he meet the guests 7 days later? Grandpa Shen, Dad will be here soon. Don't worry. Mama Sheng answered Grandpa Shen. Today is Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi's big day. As their grandfather, of course he cannot be absent. Grandpa Shen did not look good. Of course it was because he had heard some bad rumors. So he asked about it. If he did not agree to their engagement ceremony, he should have expressed his attitude right from the beginning. But after he agreed to it, he pretended to be polite. What was going on? The two families had been friends for so many years. Were they going to fall out over such a small matter? Mama Sheng was very calm, because Sheng Xiao had said that Grandpa Sheng would definitely attend. She believed in her son. Don't worry, old Shen. Grandpa Shen took a deep breath and continued to greet his comrades and guests. There were many important people who came today. They all wanted to make Mu Qiqi more confident after she married into the Sheng family. At that moment, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. However, Grandpa Sheng was nowhere to be seen at the venue. The guests at the banquet called Sheng Minghui and told her about it. Sheng Minghui was quite proud of herself. Although Grandpa loves Sheng Xiao the most, I am still a member of the Sheng family. Yesterday, Sheng Xiao treated me like that because of an outsider. Of course, Grandpa would show his attitude. Now everyone is saying that the old man didn't appear because he's not satisfied with this little bride. That's how it should be. Help me add more stories. I just want to know how the Shen family is going to show their faces today. Sheng Minghui was sitting in the living room of the Sheng family's mansion. She was talking on the phone and smirking. Don't worry, it's just a small matter. There were so many people at the venue. Moreover, Mu Qiqi was a controversial person. It was very easy to add some spice to the story. Soon, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the entrance of the hotel. But before they entered the venue, Mama Sheng secretly told Sheng Xiao, "Your grandfather still hasn't appeared until now. He will appear," Sheng Xiao said. Then he lowered his head and looked at Mu Qiqi. "Are you ready to go in? My little wife." "Of course, my future husband." Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Xiao with determination. She held his arm tightly. Then, Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi into the venue. At that moment, hundreds of people screamed. White balloons and flowers were flying all over the place. The combination of a handsome man and a beautiful woman was accompanied by such a young bride. Naturally, the cheers of the people at the venue were even louder. Mu Qiqi held her head high. She didn't panic at all. She stuck close to Sheng Xiao, because she knew that at this moment, Sheng Xiao was the only person she could rely on. The two of them walked through the arched door filled with white flowers. Then they reached the stage. The engagement ceremony would be held at 10:48 in the morning. But even then, Grandpa Sheng still didn't show up. The guests rushed forward to take photos with the two of them. Of course, there was a lot of gossip among the guests. Even the head of the Sheng family didn't show up. No matter how grand the engagement ceremony is, it won't be acknowledged by others. This little bride of the Sheng family is amazing. I heard that she was adopted by the crown prince. Then she climbed into his bed. It's so good to be young. You can do whatever you want with your body. If she didn't do it, how could there be such a good thing today? You guys, don't be so jealous. She is the daughter of the Shen family. It's ridiculous because she is the daughter of the Shen family. According to seniority, the crown prince is the uncle of this little bride. How can an uncle and a niece have such good cultivation? The gossip came one after another. The Shen family couldn't stand it anymore. It even involved Shen Jianchuan. Hey, do you see the man in the wheelchair? That is the eldest young master of the Shen family, who could wake up after 10 years in a vegetative state. He is the biological father of the little bride. Speaking of which, it's even more interesting. They are twins of the same mother but different fathers. I don't know how promiscuous they are. But the Shen family has a military background. Those who are wearing military uniforms are not Grandpa Sheng's comrades. Unfortunately, these words were heard by Lin Mu, and who was squeezed in the crowd. He still remembered Lu Qianqian's instruction. If someone was to cause trouble for Mu Qiqi at the engagement ceremony, he must help them to make a name for themselves. So Lin Muan walked to the two beauties with champagne in his hand. Why are you talking so much when you are attending an engagement ceremony? Even if Mu Qiqi doesn't get Grandpa Sheng's approval, it won't be your turn. The two ladies looked at Lin Mu, and then took a few steps back. Let's go. He is the young master of the Lin family, and also a man not to be trifled with. On the stage, Mu Qiqi and Sheng Xiao were preparing for the ceremony. But below the stage, these people were gossiping. That was why Lu Qianqian was not willing to appear. Otherwise it would be a good show. Lin Muan sneered. He suddenly sighed at the ruthlessness of the older generation. Whether it was his grandfather or the old man of the Sheng family, they did not have any human feelings in their hearts. Even the crown prince could not force Grandpa Sheng to attend the ceremony. Sheng Xiao stood on the stage. Of course, he knew what the people below the stage were thinking, because he did not see Grandpa Sheng. But at this moment, A helicopter descended from the sky and landed on the lawn. Then a young foreign man came down from the helicopter. He had bodyguards with him, and the bodyguards were carrying real guns. Chapter 258. Who is that? I think I've seen him on the news before. He's a prince from a Nordic country. Yes, I heard that the crown prince personally invited him to attend his engagement ceremony. You can see how much he values Muchichi. It's worth it to be able to see the elegance of a Nordic prince. It seems that the little bride has a very high status in the crown prince's heart. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. The guests were instantly envious of Muchichi when they saw the arrival of such an important guest. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao and Muchichi went to welcome them personally. Oh, this bride is so beautiful. Xiao, you're really impressed. The guests glanced at Muchichi and gave Sheng Xiao a thumbs up. Charlie, thank you for coming. Sheng Xiao had already prepared a throne to welcome the guest. Of course, the media took photos like crazy and reported the whole thing. Only then did Grandpa Sheng realize that his good grandson had prepared such a card. Even the prince of another country came, but he, as his grandfather, did not show up. How would it look if the news got out? At this moment, the rumors about Muchichi among the guests lessened a lot. Grandpa Sheng was quite satisfied. It did not matter if Grandpa Sheng came or not. Anyway, there was already a guest coming. Grandpa Sheng was sulking at home. In the end, he asked the driver to prepare the car. He wanted to go to the engagement ceremony. Sheng Minghui watched Grandpa Sheng leave. She stomped her feet at home. She did not expect that her grandfather still wanted to go and support that little girl of unknown origin. But at the engagement ceremony, Sheng Xiao did not want to wait for his grandfather at all. When it was 10:48, the MC took his position. The guests also took their seats. The atmosphere became quiet. Sheng Xiao led Muchichi to the white floral carpet. They walked all the way to the stage. He held his little wife's hand and walked with determination. At this time, Grandpa Sheng arrived late. He walked into the hall with his walking stick and greeted everyone. I'm sorry. I'm late because I'm not feeling well. Father, sit here. Mama Sheng guided Grandpa Sheng to Grandpa Sheng's side. Grandpa Sheng is here. Then this little granddaughter-in-law, he admitted it, right? When the guests saw Grandpa Sheng, they understood his attitude. His appearance was equivalent to admitting Muchichi's identity. She was the little bride of the Sheng family. No one could doubt her. Sheng Xiao stood on the podium and watched his grandfather. The battle of wits and courage between grandfather and grandson would probably start today. Now, I hereby announce that the engagement ceremony between Mr. Sheng Xiao and Miss Muchichi begins. Newlyweds, please hold hands and face each other. Today, under the witness of our family and friends, I will host the engagement ceremony for the two newlyweds. I would also like to congratulate the two newlyweds. After getting to know each other, and falling in love, we are ready to tie the knot and confirm each other's future marriage partners. After a long oath, the MC suddenly asked the guests present, friends and relatives of both sides, is there anyone who objects to the new couple? No one answered. Although old Sheng's expression was not good, and he did not like Muchichi, he would not go back on his word since he had promised it himself. All right, then I hope that in the coming days, the newlyweds can hold hands and move forward together, and enter the marriage hall as soon as possible. Let's invite the newlyweds to exchange their engagement tokens. At this time, fourth sister brought a ring box with Sheng Xiao and Muchichi's engagement rings in it. This was the exclusive engagement ring for every descendant of Huang Yao. The names of the newlyweds would be engraved on it. Sheng Xiao took out the ring from the box and raised Muchichi's left hand solemnly. After putting the ring on her finger, he put it on his lips and kissed it gently. And Muchichi also took out the ring and carefully put it on Sheng Xiao's finger. Seeing the sparkling diamond rings under the sun, Sheng Xiao put his arms around Muchichi's waist and kissed her lips in front of everyone. The guests suddenly became excited. The MC also smiled and said, "Congratulations to the newlyweds. The engagement ceremony has ended successfully. Next, we will have a wonderful ball. Guests, please enjoy the romantic moment." The engagement ceremony went very smoothly. thanks to Charlie helping Sheng Xiao at the scene. Grandpa Sheng did not play any tricks. He sat on the chair willingly. However, old Master Shen was very unhappy beside him. Grandpa Sheng, we have been friends for decades. What's going on today? Grandpa Shen, what are you thinking? I'm just not feeling well. Mu Qiqi is my granddaughter-in-law. I'm looking forward to her arrival. I don't think you're looking forward to it. Grandpa Shen snorted and stood up. I'll go and greet my guests. Grandpa Sheng was unwilling, but he still maintained his smile in front of everyone. He had to be kind and friendly, especially in front of the prince of another country. According to Jinchuan's tradition, Mu Qiqi will dance with your father later. Don't be afraid, Mu Qiqi. Do you understand? After the ceremony, Mama Sheng walked to Mu Qiqi and reminded her carefully. Grandpa Sheng will not cause you trouble on such an occasion. He can't afford to lose his face. Mom, I understand. Mu Qiqi nodded. Meanwhile, Sheng Xiao looked at Papa Sheng disdainfully. He reached out his hand to Mu Qiqi. Come on, Mu Qiqi. Sheng Xiao did not want to follow the rules, but Mama Sheng reminded him not to be stubborn. Mu Qiqi was not a porcelain doll. Mu Qiqi comforted Sheng Xiao with her eyes. Then she gave her hand to Papa Sheng. But Sheng Xiao did not want his father's hand to touch Mu Qiqi, so he put his mother's hand in Papa Sheng's. You dance with your woman. I'll dance with my woman. Then he led Mu Qiqi to the middle of the dance floor. Why are you so narrow-minded? There are some things that I just can't accept. Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi and whispered into her ear. Don't be in a hurry to take off your gown tonight. Why? You'll know at night. Sheng Xiao hugged his little one and danced on the dance floor. It seemed to be the first time they danced together. Mu Qiqi was obviously not familiar with the steps. Ever since she learned how to dance, she rarely danced. But it did not affect their soul connection. Chapter 259. Although Grandpa Sheng was not happy about it, he had made a lot of friends in the business world through the engagement ceremony. Moreover, he could have a relationship with the Prince of Northern Europe. It was beneficial for Huang Yao to expand its territory. Because of that, he could tolerate Mu Qiqi for the time being. Soon, the engagement cake was brought to the table. Sheng Xiao brought Mu Qiqi to the cake. Both of them took a knife and cut open the big cake. The guests applauded thunderously. At this time, someone walked out from the crowd with a confident smile. She looked at Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi and said, I'm sorry, Qiqi. I'm late. The Shuns were shocked when they saw her. Mama Sheng frowned. Perhaps it was because Shen Ruai was a member of the Shen family. So the security guards did not stop her. But she had been chased out of the Shen family a long time ago. Why did she appear here? I forgot to introduce myself. Perhaps many of you know me. I'm the eldest daughter of the Shen family. My name is Shen Ruai. I'm also the cousin of the bride Mu Qiqi. Shen Ruai said with a smile. Suddenly, her facial expression changed. She pointed at Mu Qiqi and said, But do you know? I was chased out of the family by this cousin of mine. A granddaughter with an unknown background and an unattractive background has chased me, a dignified young lady, out of the door. How ironic. Most importantly, she knew that I liked Uncle Xiao. But she did not tell me about her relationship with Uncle Xiao. She treated me like a monkey. She played me like a fool. Mu Qiqi, tell me in front of everyone today. Are you trying so hard to marry into the Sheng family? Shen Ruai screamed hysterically. Mu Qiqi's face darkened. You're a very bold intruder. I could only watch as you devour everything around me. You're good. Now you've gotten what you wanted. Mu Qiqi. After listening to what Shen Ruai said, all the guests looked at each other. Perhaps, all of them were waiting for a good show, because of Mu Qiqi's birth. Grandpa Shen was furious when he saw that. He asked Huang Yu to drag her away. Second aunt, I know you're going to stop me, but I'm not afraid. Since I'm already here, I'm prepared to lose my reputation. But, I'm going to drag Mu Qiqi to hell with me. Dear guests, you probably don't know how powerful my little cousin is. From the Mu family all the way to the Shen family, she defeated all her opponents one after another. Now, she has become successful, and is married to the crown prince. Mu Qiqi, it must be hard for you to be exposed, right? Shen Ruai pushed Huang Yu away and laughed loudly. Ruoyi, save your grandpa's reputation. Ruoyi, of my reputation. Shen Ruoyi asked Huang Yu. I don't believe that the Sheng family will like this 18-year-old bride. I'm sure that the Sheng family would rather choose me than Mu Qiqi if they have a choice. It was supposed to be a beautiful engagement ceremony. But because of Shen Ruoyi's appearance, it became a scene of a fight between the sisters. But Shen Ruoyi appeared. She came out to intensify the conflict. She wanted to vent her anger in front of everyone. Mama Sheng went forward and wanted to say something. But Mu Qiqi stopped her. She did not let Xing Xiao speak. She walked to Shen Ruoyi and gave her a tight slap. I don't care what you say about me. But you don't care about Grandpa's health. You've ruined the reputation of the Shen family. I want to wake you up with this slap. You. Shen Ruoyi covered her face. She was furious. Shen Ruoyi. Everyone can tell right from wrong. Everyone has their own bottom line. They know whether their choice is good or bad. Do you think I'm so powerful that I can influence everyone's decision? You probably don't know that the one who influenced their decision was you, not me. The one who made grandfather sad and disappointed was you. The one who made grandfather give up on your family was also you. If you really have the self-awareness of being the Shen family's young lady, at this moment, you wouldn't be standing here pointing at my nose and venting your dissatisfaction. Because of you, the Shen family will lose face. Xiao Xiao and I are engaged today. You came to make a scene. I don't mind. It's not because I'm generous. It's because I have to tell all the guests that I'm different from you. You're selfish. You can't bear the responsibility of the Shen family. So I'll bear the responsibility. I used to be sincere to you. Do you dare to say that I didn't treat you well when I came back from abroad? Shen Ruoyi questioned Mu Qiqi. Including drugging me? Mu Qiqi asked Shen Ruoyi. I found out where you got the medicine from during the birthday banquet. If you're sincere to me, tell me, why did you apply the medicine on me? Shen Ruoyi asked. Shen Ruoyi put away her sharp gaze and looked away. I think all the guests here are mocking me because of my birth, aren't they? They can tease me at any time, no matter what the occasion is. Mu Qiqi suddenly let it go. She decided to tell the truth. But I don't hate my birth at all. Mu Qiqi looked at Shen Jianchuan. Her voice was penetrating. Because I have no choice. I only know that my mother gave birth to me after carrying me for 10 months. She experienced pain and danger too. She's as great as any other mother. My father was in a vegetative state for many years. People said that he was aggressive. But did any of you know that he was injured by someone? That's why he was bedridden for more than 10 years. As for me, do all of you think that your birth is nobler than mine? And you want to trample on me because of that nobility? But I won't allow you to trample on me. My birth may be controversial, but the education I received is not lesser than any of you. I know what's right and what's wrong. I'm an independent and complete person. As a basic human being, it's basic to respect others. It's human nature to make things difficult for others. Shen Ruoyi, I've torn apart what you said to the guests today. I don't think you have any other weapon to hurt me, right? I, Mu Qiqi, am standing here. I'm Xing Zhao's fiancée. I'm the granddaughter of the Shen family. I used to be a member of the Mu family, but I don't steal or rob. I've never done evil to anyone. I live my life openly. If you want to laugh at me, go ahead. Chapter 260. Shen Ruoyi, are you trying to drag me down to hell? But I don't blame myself. My heart isn't made to contain a resentful villain like you. I want to cherish the people I care about and protect the people I value. As for lovers, relatives, friends, you don't have any of these, do you? At that moment, the 18-year-old Mu Qiqi showed her tenacity and softness as a woman. She never abandoned her family background. She was neither humble nor arrogant. Even when she was being mocked, she was not afraid at all. These words were sonorous and forceful. All the guests were convinced by her. There was a rumor that this girl became famous during the birthday banquet of the Lin family, but they did not expect that she was so powerful. After that, Mu Qiqi turned around and looked at Grandpa Shen. She said to him, Grandpa, please don't blame Shen Ruoyi. It's the biggest punishment for her to see me standing here, with a strong will. I don't think I'm a disgrace. Because I'm an upright person. Grandpa Sheng got up from his chair and walked toward Muchichi. He hugged his granddaughter gently. I'm old now, but after hearing what you said just now, I feel that you're the hope of the Shin family. Today is your big day. I have nothing else to give you. I just want to tell you that I'll always stand behind you. If anyone dares to mock my granddaughter, you should ask for the medal in my hand first. You only remember the ridiculous things that happened in the Shun family, but you don't remember how many lives I've saved. As for Shunrui, I'll ask the security guards to take her away now. She's not a member of the Shun family. We don't have such a cruel and unscrupulous person. When Grandpa Shun finished speaking, Lin Muan took the lead to applaud. He was clapping from the bottom of his heart. He seemed to understand why Mu Chichi could stand out from so many rich young ladies and gain Xing Zhao's favor. It was because she was broad-minded even though she was only 18 years old. She had a vision and a mind. She was not the kind of person who would do anything for money. She was a generous person. Such a person with a soul would naturally be recognized and loved by others. Even the Nordic prince gave her a thumbs up. She's a respectable girl. Sheng Xiao hugged Muchichi and watched as the little one conquered the guests like an orator. He suddenly sighed inwardly. The timid little one from before seemed to have disappeared just like that. Soon, Shunrui was kicked out in front of the guests. Then, the MC raised his glass to warm up the atmosphere. To our generous bride-to-be, everyone raise your hands, cheers. Old Sheng glanced at the atmosphere. It was fortunate that Mu Chichi had redeemed the situation, or the Sheng family would have been utterly humiliated. The little one seemed to have a temper, and he knew very well that it was very similar to his grandson, Sheng Xiao. If he wasn't trained, he wouldn't believe it at all. Sheng Xiao did not say a word from start to end. Later someone asked, "Why didn't you stand up for your wife when she was being bullied just now?" "I survived," Sheng Xiao answered with a smile. "I trained her myself. She's not a girl who needs a man's protection. She has self-esteem, and she has her own self. I'm fascinated by her." Mu Chichi seemed to be tracked by a tracking device in the crowd. Sheng Xiao's eyes were fixed on her all the time. It seemed that he had no intention of moving his eyes away. Soon, it was lunchtime for the engagement ceremony. Mu Chichi drank some red wine during the banquet. She was a little drunk. Mama Sheng saw that and quickly said to Sheng Xiao, "Bring Mu Chichi upstairs to rest. The hotel has specially prepared a new room for you." "Mom, I'll leave the guests to you." Then, Sheng Xiao carried Mu Chichi in his arms. Mu Chichi was a little dizzy. She went into the room and lay on the bed with a red face. Sheng Xiao lifted her chin when he saw that. He looked at her with intoxicated eyes. "Little one, Mu Chichi moaned. "You're my fiancé now." Then, Sheng Xiao carried Mu Chichi up from the bed and kissed her passionately. Mu Chichi responded instinctively. Soon her body went limp. Downstairs, the guests were singing and dancing. It was very lively. In the wedding room, Sheng Xiao liked the gown that Mu Chichi was wearing very much. Even though he was kissing her, he did not want to take it off for her. "Chia, I want you. The gown will be ruined," Mu Chichi said with her eyes blurred. Sheng Xiao could not hold it anymore. He pushed the gown to her upper body. He did not care about this little one who was drunk. He just wanted to melt into her blood and bones. He had long wanted to hold such a beautiful little thing in his arms and dote on her. Downstairs, fourth sister probably knew that her brother would not come downstairs. So, she greeted the Nordic prince on his behalf. The two of them were conversing in English. They were having a good time. Grandpa Sheng could not help but have some thoughts when he saw that. Anyway, fourth sister had not been in a relationship for many years. If she could marry a princess, it would be a good choice. It would help Huang Yao to reach a higher level. Perhaps it was because Grandpa Sheng had been expanding his territory for half of his life. So even when he was old, he would not forget to find a chance for Huang Yao to reach a higher level. Look at those two. They are having a good conversation. Mama Sheng understood what Grandpa Sheng meant. She smiled. If this is fourth sister's fate, we will be happy to see it happen. Jing Yin was not far away. When he saw the scene, he walked away quietly. Many years ago, he could not stop that man from hurting fourth sister. Now, he did not have the status to stop fourth sister from dating another man. But he would feel heartache when he saw fourth sister with another man. But he could not do anything about it. He was loyal to the Sheng family. He knew very well that even if the end of the world came, Grandpa Sheng would not allow him to be with fourth sister. And fourth miss didn't like him either. He was just an assistant. On the other hand, Lin Mu and had recorded the video of the engagement ceremony. He sent it to Lu Qianqian. Just take it that you were here. Lu Qianqian watched the video and nodded. My seventh sister is so beautiful and powerful. From now on, she will be the crown princess. She will be very happy after marrying into the Sheng family. I don't think so. The Sheng family doesn't like her. Lin Muan could see it clearly. Of course, with the crown prince around, she will not be at a disadvantage. You, seventh sister, are not a person who will be at a disadvantage. Seeing Grandpa Sheng picking on you, I really want to see him slap his face one day. Because I realized that Chi-Chi is quite liked by the old man. Of course. Lu Qianqian snorted proudly. I did not expect that she would really marry into the Sheng family just like that. Also, I noticed something interesting just now. What is it? Lu Qianqian asked quickly. Didn't you notice that Jing Yan was very strange in the video? Why are you paying attention to the crown prince's assistant? Lu Qianqian went to watch the video. Chapter 261. Lu Qianqian felt that it made sense. So she replayed the video a few times. In the end, she found out that Jing Yun was looking at something when he looked sad. Why didn't you record the whole video? If I want to know where he was looking at, I can just go to the hotel and get the CCTV footage. But I don't think it's my business. Lin Muan did not like to dig up other people's secrets. You're right. Lu Qianqian could feel how much Jing Yun wanted to hide everything. You can have fun. I have seen how beautiful Chi-Chi is. I am satisfied. Where are you this afternoon? Let me accompany you. Lin Muan suddenly had an idea. Grandpa Sheng is drunk today. He should not notice me. I am being tortured by my coach. Lu Qianqian snorted. I am practicing fencing. Tell me the address. I will come over now. Lin Mu and sneaked away from the engagement ceremony when Grandpa Sheng was dozing off. There were so many beautiful women there. He did not want to talk to them. He would rather smell Lu Qianqian's sweat. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Sheng Xiao walked out of the new house energetically. He took over the task from fourth sister and received his distinguished guest personally. When he saw Charlie and fourth sister chatting happily, Sheng Xiao could not help but ask Charlie, do you like Asian women? Your sister is a very beautiful woman. Do you want to go further? Charlie shrugged and patted Sheng Xiao's shoulder. I am going back to China. I hope that the next time I see you will be at your wedding ceremony. The little bride is very cute. If you really want to, you can contact me anytime. Sheng Xiao sent him to the helicopter and shook his hand. It is so interesting to know you. I am already looking forward to our next meeting. Sheng Xiao smiled and waved at him. If the Nordic prince really liked fourth sister, it would be a good marriage. So when Charlie left, Sheng Xiao asked fourth sister, are you interested in the princess of Nordic Europe? Fourth sister patted the back of his hand. Not interested. I thought that you and Charlie are going to have a romantic relationship. Are you willing to let your sister marry so far away? Sheng Xiao shrugged. A smile appeared on his handsome face. Do you think that Grandpa Sheng did not see what happened just now? Now, I'm afraid he's going to make this his next target. I did it for you. Fourth sister glared at Sheng Xiao. Where's Chi-Chi? He's still sleeping. Plus, the old man is here. Do you think he'll tell you about Charlie? Sheng Xiao pointed at a spot not far away with his chin. Fourth sister followed his line of sight and saw that Grandpa Sheng was indeed looking at her. Minglong, come here. Fourth sister looked at Sheng Xiao helplessly. Then, she followed Grandpa Sheng to a place where they could talk. Because not only did Grandpa Sheng treat this matter seriously, but he also put it on the agenda. I will ask someone to find out about the prince's information. Eighth brother, you should be prepared to be the princess. Grandpa, are you really willing to let me marry far away? There's nothing wrong with that. You're not young anymore. As a member of the Sheng family, fourth sister knew that she could not decide her own marriage. Although Sheng Xiao could get engaged to Mu Qiqi now, it was still unknown whether Mu Qiqi could marry into the Sheng family in the end. Resist? That would be like falling into the depths of hell. Do you think you'll be fine if you don't want the wealth of the Sheng family? It also means that you can only accept your fate and be suppressed by the Sheng family for the rest of your life. Fourth sister did not say anything, but she was unhappy. Her eyes turned red. Jingyan felt sorry for her. He held the handkerchief in his hand, but he did not know how to give it to fourth sister. Sheng Xiao could tell that his fourth sister clearly did not mean it that way. That was why he would not mention it to Charlie. Otherwise, Grandpa Sheng would never let it go. Grandpa Sheng had been controlling others all his life, but he could not control Sheng Xiao. Soon, Sheng Xiao went to the new room and let his little one get up. On the way, he received a call from Susie Pei. The doctor had asked her to rest in bed, so she could not come to the hotel. Sheng Xiao comforted her. He had recorded the ceremony today. He would send it to her later. It would fulfill one of her wishes. In the room, Mu Qiqi was sleeping soundly on the bed with her arms exposed. Sheng Xiao took her out of the blanket and helped her put on the dress. It's almost time for the banquet. I'll ask someone to touch up your makeup. It's all your fault. Mu Qiqi punched Sheng Xiao's chest. He knew that it was such an important day, but he insisted on it. He could not even wait for the night. If you don't want to walk, I can carry you the whole time. Mu Qiqi became energetic when she heard that. She quickly got up. I want to wash my face and touch up my makeup. I have my ways to deal with you. Sheng Xiao smiled and pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. Then, he got up and asked the makeup artist to enter the room. At the same time, fourth sister was in a bad mood after Grandpa Sheng ruined her marriage. She was drinking alone in the room. Jingyan knew that. He went to the door and knocked on it. Miss Minglan. Fourth sister opened the door after a long time. She smiled when she saw Jingyan. Jingyan, come in. I won't come in, said Jingyan. He did not want others to misunderstand fourth sister. Women shouldn't drink too much. It's bad for their health. Who cares? Fourth sister laughed at herself. You can go now. I'll come out soon. Okay. After that, Jingyan closed the door. But he did not leave. A drunk woman in the hotel was the most dangerous. So he just stood in front of fourth sister's door. He looked so quiet. It was because he did not know how to help fourth sister. And he could not stop her from marrying anyone. Sometimes, he wished that he had the courage of his young master. He could do whatever he wanted. But he knew that it would only hurt more people. About 40 minutes later, fourth sister opened the door. She frowned when she saw Jingyan still standing there. Why are you still here? I'm worried. There are so many guests in the hotel. And you are the young lady of the Sheng family. So it's natural for me to guard you. Fourth sister took a deep breath and nodded. I look terrible, don't I? Not really. You look beautiful. Fourth sister suddenly blushed. But she still walked in front of Jingyan. When Jingyan saw that she had reached a safe place, he stopped following her. It was because he would be discovered easily. When fourth sister found out that Jingyan was so considerate, she was touched. The child she brought back was so kind. Chapter 262. During the banquet, the guests asked about the exact date of their wedding. But old Sheng simply smiled and avoided the topic, answering, Mu Qi is still young. She would naturally fall when the time is right. Just let nature take its course. At that moment, Mu Qiqi hated herself for being so young that she could not truly be Xiao Xiao's wife. Sheng Xiao held Mu Qiqi's hand under the table and comforted her. It was fine to let the old man's words go in one ear and out the other. There was no need to take every word to heart. Mu Qiqi smiled and looked at him. She was disappointed, but she was not afraid. After the banquet, the guests left. The Shen family bid farewell to the Sheng family too. Shen Jianchuan had been out for a whole day and should be returning to the hospital. Mu Qiqi walked to Shen Jianchuan and held his hand. Xiao Qi is still your daughter. It will not change in this life. Silly child. Shen Jianchuan was reluctant to part with her. But he did not show his sadness, because he did not want to burden Mu Qiqi. Grandpa Shen pushed Shen Jianchuan away. Soon, the whole family disappeared from the entrance of the hotel. You must be tired today. Go back and rest. As for Mu Chichi, come back to the Sheng family some other day. I have something to tell you. Grandpa Sheng said to Sheng Xiao and Mu Chichi before he left. Mu Chichi nodded immediately. Of course. Take care, Grandpa. Let's go back to Jingting. Sheng Xiao saw that everyone had left and brought his wife home. But when they reached home, Sheng Xiao pressed Mu Chichi on the passenger seat before they got out of the car. Do you know how much you have teased me today? Did you not have enough for the afternoon? Mu Chichi looked at him helplessly. How could this man be so strong? Do you think I can? With that, Sheng Xiao got out of the car and carried Mu Chichi out of the passenger seat. Then they walked to the bedroom. When they were lying on the bed, Sheng Xiao and Mu Chichi interlocked their fingers. Since we are engaged, shouldn't we change the way we address each other? Mu Chichi blushed and felt hot. Then, what do you want me to call you? What do you think? Sheng Xiao hooked her chin and looked into her eyes seriously. If it weren't for the fact that you're only 18 years old, you would already be my wife. And what do wives usually call their husbands? Those hands appeared to be filled with magic, leaving her unable to think and at his mercy. Xiao Xiao. Wrong name. Sheng Xiao smiled playfully and kissed her frivolously. Old Duke. Say it again. Sheng Xiao's eyes darkened. Hubby. Mu Chichi felt very uncomfortable, but she couldn't resist the man's teasing, because he was an addictive drug. Remember, I'm your husband, your husband. With that, the two of them joined together. Mu Chichi let out a satisfied sigh. She had never thought that she would get married at 18. Moreover, the man was Sheng Xiao. From the day she fell in love with him, Mu Chichi felt that she had fallen in love with someone she shouldn't have. She could only live in hell for the rest of her life. But she dragged him down with her. Now she really couldn't run away anymore. But now that the two of them had already passed their wedding night, could they still be so sentimental when they really got married? That night was both romantic and cruel. To the newlyweds, it was a happy night. But to Sheng Minglan, she felt like she was being grilled on the grill. Not only did Grandpa Sheng tell her about it during the engagement ceremony, he even brought it up in front of the whole family when he got home. The Shengs were very envious. They felt that Grandpa Sheng had found a good marriage for her. But to her, Grandpa Sheng's cruelty was equivalent to killing her heart. Jing Yun heard about Grandpa Sheng's arrangement outside the living room. He was not feeling better than Sheng Minglan. He used to fantasize about who Miss Minglan would marry. But he never thought that she would marry so far away. After Sheng Minglan returned to her room, she called Sheng Xiao immediately, although she knew that she shouldn't disturb Sheng Xiao at this moment. At the same time in Jingting, when Sheng Xiao entered the bathroom with his little one, he received Sheng Minglan's call. Fourth sister, I don't want to get married to Northern Europe, but Grandpa has taken it seriously. If you can think of a way to make the Northern Europeans reject him, I will be very grateful. It's not easy for a prince to get married. Even if Grandpa is powerful, he can't reach to Northern Europe. Don't worry, fourth sister. What's the use of me not worrying? Today is the Northern European prince. What about tomorrow? Sheng Minglan sounded depressed. Sometimes it's too tiring to be a Sheng. If you really don't want Grandpa to control your marriage, we can negotiate. But for now, you should help me deal with Charlie. After hanging up, Sheng Xiao immediately called Northern Europe. He was sure that the Northern Europeans did not want to marry an Asian woman as their princess. They would not choose an Asian woman as their princess. What's wrong, fourth sister? Mu Chichi asked when she saw Sheng Xiao calling her twice. Grandpa wants to control fourth sister's marriage. But fourth sister doesn't agree. Little one, you should call fourth sister more often when you have time. Sometimes the Sheng family is like a prison. Mu Chichi nodded. She pulled Sheng Xiao to kneel down and kissed him deeply on the lips. Call me that again before you sleep? Hubby, Sheng Xiao was satisfied. Then, he lay in the bathtub with Mu Chichi to relieve his fatigue. But Sheng Xiao did not expect that the first thing Jing Yun did when he saw him the next day was to beg him. Miss Minglan seems to be confused. Young master, can you help her? Sheng Xiao looked at Jing Yun. He looked at him from head to toe. This is the first time you asked me for help because of someone else. Miss Minglan saved me. Is that so? Jing Yun, You should know how Chi and I got here. She has used this excuse of yours many times. Sheng Xiao chuckled. But it's true. Jing Yun looked into Sheng Xiao's eyes. The master and the servant just stared at each other. After a while, Sheng Xiao nodded. She told me last night that the Northern Europeans have no such plans. You don't have to worry. But, Jing Yun, you should know who controls Fourth Sister's fate. If it's not the Northern European prince today, it could be an American tycoon tomorrow. That has nothing to do with me, Jing Yun answered honestly. He could not control it. Chapter 263. There was still room for negotiation. It was not a dead end yet. But Grandpa Sheng asked Sheng Minglan to go to Northern Europe with him for a few days. Even if Sheng Xiao had received the news, Grandpa Sheng would try his best to persuade Sheng Minglan again. Moreover, Sheng Xiao was in contact with Charlie, while Grandpa Sheng was in contact with the nobles in Northern Europe. So he thought that as long as Charlie was not married, there was still room for negotiation. Although Sheng Minglan was not anxious, she had completely given up on Grandpa Sheng. Meanwhile, Sheng Minghui said sarcastically, I did not expect that Grandpa wants to marry Fourth Sister to a place so far away. How can we be reunited in the future? It is me today, and it will be you tomorrow. No one can run away. Sheng Minglan did not bother to talk to her. She left after saying that. Sheng Minghui, on the other hand, did not look too good. Because Sheng Minglan was right. If she could not find someone she liked in the limited time, she would have to live under Grandpa Sheng's control for the rest of her life. Seeing Sheng Minglan's miserable state, Sheng Minglan could not just sit back and watch. After Sheng Xiao knew about it, he told Sheng Minglan not to worry. Even if they went to Northern Europe, there would not be too many changes. The royal family of Northern Europe would definitely not want an Asian woman. But Sheng Minglan felt sad, even if she was going there as a guest. At night, she could only drink at home. When Jing Yun came home from Huangyao and heard about it, he felt sad. But there was nothing he could do. He could only stay in front of Sheng Minglan's room in the middle of the night. Young master had said that it would not happen. He trusted Sheng Xiao. But it was another matter if Fourth Sister was sad. Late at night, Sheng Xiao returned home and told Mu Qiqi about Grandpa Sheng bringing Fourth Sister to Northern Europe. Mu Qiqi felt helpless when she heard about it. It's not like the Sheng family has a throne to inherit. Why would Grandpa be so stubborn and interfere with his children's marriage? He only has a grand ambition in his heart. Sheng Xiao pulled Mu Qiqi into his arms and hugged his little wife tightly. I've discovered something. What is it? That blockhead Jing Yun might like Fourth Sister, Sheng Xiao said as he stroked Mu Qiqi's hair. This man never asks me for anything. But this morning, he asked me to help Fourth Sister. Just based on that? Of course not. Jing Yun has been living under the Sheng family's roof all these years, so he knows how to control his emotions better than anyone else. Sometimes he is as cold as a block of ice because he has accepted his fate. How many children did the Sheng family have? None of the Sheng family members ever smiled when they got married. But he never cared about anyone. Perhaps he owes Fourth Sister a favor. Sheng Xiao smiled and shook his head again. You should be the one who understands Jing Yun the best. He wouldn't have come to me if he hadn't endured to the limit. Mu Qiqi remembered her crush on Xiao Xiao when she heard that, and couldn't help but pity him. You little thing, you guessed it right. What? There's really an impossible person hiding in Jing Yun's heart. Sheng Xiao remembered what Mu Qiqi said back then. But Mu Qiqi could not laugh. If that's the case, the situation would be even worse. Let's not talk about whether Miss Minglan likes Jing Yun. No. I should say that regardless of whether Miss Minglan likes Jing Yun, the Sheng family must not know Jing Yun's feelings. You don't want to help him. What's more important now is to help Fourth Sister out of her misery. No one could change Grandpa Sheng's mind. He could only play along for now. Kissing Mu Qiqi's forehead, Sheng Xiao suddenly said, I'll ask Jing Yun to book a plane ticket to Northern Europe in the morning. We'll be one step ahead of Grandpa Sheng and in things. All right. Mu Qiqi nodded. So now hurry up. Hurry up for what? Mu Qiqi was puzzled. Hurry up for loving you for once. Mu Qiqi was speechless. That night, Sheng Minglan couldn't sleep at all. In the middle of the night, she held a bottle of wine and stared blankly in the garden. And Jingyun was the one who couldn't sleep with her. Thinking about how stressed she was, Jingyun could only hate himself for not being able to do anything. He could only watch from afar, afraid that he would cause trouble for her. But his feet wouldn't listen to him. Even though he knew that one step forward could lead him to hell, Jingyun still walked towards her. Fourth sister, drinking like this is bad for your health. Sheng Minglan looked up and saw Jingyun. She smiled. Why aren't you asleep? It's already past midnight. I still have some unfinished business. I came out to clear my head and saw you. Isn't Xing Xiao squeezing you too much? I'll talk to him another day. Are you really that unhappy? Jingyun suddenly asked Sheng Minglan. Sheng Minglan took a deep breath and smiled mockingly. Sometimes I really envy Sheng Xiao. He knew his limits from the start. Otherwise, he wouldn't have to be manipulated by others. Happiness? In this family, no one cares about happiness the most. Jingyun, I'm not just envious of Sheng Xiao. I'm envious of you. You're not a Sheng, so you don't have to be restrained by Grandpa. You're drunk. Jingyun took the wine glass away from her hand. Are you going to deprive me of my last bit of freedom? Jingyun looked at her, suddenly having a bold idea. Although Sheng Xiao was already on the plane to Northern Europe, he still wanted to do it. What would you choose if I could help you leave the Sheng family? I can't escape. I can escape. Jingyun told her confidently. I know the scope of Huang Yao's business and the blind spots. Why do you want to help me? You'll be dead if Grandpa finds out. Jingyun said nothing. He did not answer, but his eyes revealed everything. Because I don't want to see you suffer. Jingyun, I don't need to escape. I just need to get engaged and married. And Grandpa won't be able to control me anymore. You have a point. Jingyun forced a smile to hide his heartache. Idiot. Sheng Minglan did not say anything else, but she seemed to have a plan in her mind. Instead of sitting and waiting for death, it was better to take the initiative. Moreover, there were suitable candidates in her contacts who could help. Still, it would take some time to plan. When the trip to Northern Europe was over, she would completely leave the Sheng family. Well, I'm going to rest. Jingyun knew that there was nothing he could do, and did not want to add to Sheng Minglan's worries. Sheng Minglan nodded. Go. Don't work so late next time. Okay. Jingyun nodded obediently. Chapter 264. Jingyun had hidden his feelings too well that Sheng Minglan could not tell. But Sheng Xiao saw through it. Sheng Xiao went to Northern Europe and met Charlie. He told him about his family's situation. And Charlie had already made up his mind to accept the royal family's arrangement and marry the daughter of a Northern European magnate. Thanks, Charlie. I just hope that there will be one less person in this world who is manipulated by their elders. As for Mu Qiqi, she invited fourth sister to Jingting for dinner after class. The new maid Aunt Wu was working. She was a good cook and was very kind. I really envy you. Sheng Minglan looked at Jingting and said to Mu Qiqi, Xiao Qi, I always hope that I can meet a man like Xing Xiao, who can free me from my shackles. Fourth sister, don't think too much since you are out. Just be happy in Jingting. Don't worry. Let me tell you a secret. Xiao Xiao went to Northern Europe last night. I didn't dote on him for nothing. Sheng Minglan smiled. Then how are you going to solve this? You can't just drag it on like this. Grandpa might fancy a Northern European prince today, but he might fancy someone else in the future. Do you think that I have been doing nothing all these years? Sheng Minglan sneered. If Grandpa keeps forcing me, I will start my own family. But, are you trying to say that I can't win against Huang Yao? How would I know if I haven't tried? Sheng Minglan asked in return. If Xing Xiao could fight with Grandpa to the death, I can do the same. I'm just a body. If I can't live the life I want, I'd rather die. Sheng Minglan said. Mu Qiqi could feel it very well. Xiao Xiao and I will support you. Xing Xiao values you as much as his own life. I don't dare to let you offend Grandpa. You should let me do something too. Otherwise, I will really become an 18-year-old bride. Mu Qiqi raised her glass and clinked glasses with Sheng Minglan. I almost forgot that you also fought against fate. Sheng Minglan drank as she chatted with Mu Qiqi. The two of them were like sisters, and there was no distinction between them. Jing Yun stood by the door and listened to their conversation. For some reason, he felt a little more relaxed. At least, Miss Minglan was not waiting to die. Since Sheng Minglan could not drive after drinking, Mu Qiqi asked Jing Yun to send her home. On the way home, Jing Yun suddenly said to the woman behind him, "I can help you, Miss Minglan. I have first-hand information about Huang Yao. As long as you want to fight, I'll bear with Grandpa for the last time." Sheng Minglan mumbled and fell asleep in Jing Yun's car. Meanwhile, Grandpa Sheng soon received news from Northern Europe that Prince Charlie had announced that he was getting married. The old man didn't even have time to set off, therefore. This matter could only be left unsettled. Grandpa Sheng even consoled her afterward. "I'll arrange a better marriage for you in the future." There was a hidden meaning in Sheng Minglan's eyes. If there was a next time, she would definitely leave Huang Yao. On the morning of the third day, Sheng Xiao returned from Northern Europe and successfully solved Sheng Minglan's urgent problem. It was a worthwhile trip. When he returned, the little one was still sleeping soundly. Seeing that, Sheng Xiao took off his clothes and lay down beside Mu Qiqi. The little one might have felt the familiar warmth and threw herself on him. Sheng Xiao hugged the little one and breathed in the fragrance of her hair, relieving the fatigue all over his body. After a while, Mu Qiqi woke up from Sheng Xiao's arms. She saw the man beside her and couldn't help kissing his forehead. "You are seducing me." Sheng Xiao opened his eyes suddenly and startled Mu Qiqi. "How can kissing my forehead count?" Mu Qiqi quickly got up. "Is fourth sister's problem settled?" Sheng Xiao turned Mu Qiqi over and pressed her under his body. "You are the one in danger now. Aunt Wu will wake me up later." Mu Qiqi looked at the bedroom door nervously. Sure enough, Aunt Wu came to Mu Qiqi's door a few minutes later. She didn't know that Sheng Xiao had returned in the middle of the night. "Young madam, it's time to go to school." Mu Qiqi was about to say something when Sheng Xiao kissed her. "Young madam? Aunt Wu, you can leave first." After a while, Sheng Xiao's voice came from the gap of the door. Aunt Wu understood and left the room quietly. The young couple was really attached to each other, especially in the morning when they were full of energy. "Save me some face in front of Aunt Wu." Mu Qiqi was helpless and bit the man's nose anxiously. Sheng Xiao grabbed her hands and kissed them. "We haven't seen each other for 3 days. Don't you miss me?" To be precise, it was 1 day and 2 nights. This man liked to exaggerate. "Xiao Xiao. Call me hubby." There was no room for Mu Qiqi to speak. There was no room at all. When they cleaned up and went downstairs, the breakfast prepared by Aunt Wu was already cold. "Your morning class is in the 3rd period. Do you think I don't know?" Sheng Xiao saw Mu Qiqi's dissatisfied face and immediately pinched her nose. "I'm asking about your 4th sister. If I can't do it well, then don't count on others." Sheng Xiao gave her the answer. The old man was happy for nothing. "Grandpa called last night and asked us to go back for dinner tonight. On the day of the engagement, he told me that he wanted to talk to me alone. I can't run away today. Am I afraid of him?" Sheng Xiao said indifferently. "I taught you. He should be used to my attitude towards him. So there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not afraid of him. I have you. At the very least, I have Dad and Grandpa. Then what are you worried about? I want to help 4th sister. Maybe in your eyes I'm courting death." Mu Qiqi answered Sheng Xiao seriously. "Actually, I want to help Jing Yun too. They don't need your help." Sheng Xiao told her directly. 4th sister is not as obedient as you think. Jing Yun is not as obedient as you think. What you need to do is to study hard and be a good forensic doctor. If you keep pestering me like this, I'll burn incense and pray to Buddha if I don't fail my subjects at the end of the semester. If you keep looking at me like this, I'll make sure you can't go to the 3rd period in the morning." Sheng Xiao suddenly smiled and threatened Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi quickly looked away and tried to stuff some breakfast into her mouth. This man was really a devil. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.